Pleasant afternoon to all, and welcome to the virtual career talk with the theme UE graduates onward to hybrid new normal. So, my name is Miss Grace Gallardo Gonzalez. I'm one of the guidance counselors in UE Manila and your host this afternoon. And before we begin this event, let me just mention a few reminders. So kindly type in your questions to our resource for our resource persons in our YouTube live comment section. And the questions which you have sent in our pre-registration will be addressed later by our speakers during our open forum. And before the end of our program, please make sure to accomplish our activity evaluation for attendance monitoring. The link will be posted later in the YouTube comment section and the GCCSO FB page. Now, let's begin this webinar with a prayer to be followed by the Philippine National Anthem.
Lord, as we begin today, we ask freshness of your Spirit, that out of confused issues may come simplicity of plan, that out of fear may come confidence, that out of hurry may come deliberation, that out of frustration may come guidance. Let us get to our work, not head first, but heart first. May we be able to disagree without being disagreeable, to differ without being difficult, to be honest without tension, and frank without offense, in an atmosphere of team spirit. Amen.
Right. Now, to give her welcome remarks, please give a big virtual clap to Dr. Maria Leonila Villarrea, the GCCSO Director.
Grace-filled Easter Monday to our dear graduating students. Welcome to the uncertain, ambiguous, disrupted, volatile future. Is it something to look forward to? Nah, of course not. But the good news is you will survive. How? You can mitigate the effects of this worldwide health crisis in your work preparation by being informed and by starting to prepare this time that you are still within the secure walls of the UE. You seize or heed the opportunity that you still have. Your professors, your administrators, your deans, college secretaries, your guidance counselors, and classmates who are journeying with you as you create your next milestone. You are about to be UE alumni 2021 year-end graduating students. Listen and immerse yourself in the talk of our experienced, seasoned guest speakers as they enlighten you on the present and foreseeable future trends of work. This will assist you to have a better glimpse of your job search and work life a few months from now. Congratulations on your coming graduation. Magandang hapon po muli sa inyong lahat.
Thank you, Dr. Rea. And now I would like to call Miss Anne Joycelyn Verso to introduce our first resource speaker this afternoon.
Thank you, Ms. Grace. Our first speaker is a Senior Labor and Employment Officer from the Department of Labor and Employment, National Capital Region, Manila Field Office. He graduated Master of Industrial Relations from the School of Labor and Industrial Relations from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. He holds a diploma in Industrial Relations and certificate course in Industrial Relations and Human Resource Management and Workers Institute of Labor Laws, also from the School of Labor and Industrial Relations from the same university. He also finished his master's in government management from the Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila and graduated magna cum laude in AB Political Science from Arellano University. In his more than 8 years in service, he handled the following programs: labor standards case management, labor inspection, single entry approach conciliation mediation, DO 174 orientation, processing and evaluation of for contractors and subcontractors, labor education for graduating students, employment coaching for job seekers, field job net administration, and yes or youth entrepreneurship support program. To talk about labor education, for graduating students and colleagues, let us give a virtual applause of welcome to Mr. Jeremiah Jerry Carlos.
Thank you very much, Miss Anne, for that very generous introduction. Thank you also to big thanks also to UEGCCSO, yung ating Guidance and Counseling and Career Services Office sa UA Manila, for allowing us to be part of your career talk, no, webinar for graduating students. I have already lost count of how many seminars we've been invited to here in UE. So still very big thanks for letting us participate again. So before we start our very short discussion this afternoon, I would like to congratulate in advance our attendees. I think they're in Zoom, and some of them are watching on YouTube. Well, advance congratulations to each and everyone. Hindi madali yan, no? Yung pinagdaanan ninyo na pag-aaral virtually, online. And now you have reached this penultimate stage, no? Malapit na. you will be graduating very soon. So again, in behalf of the Department of Labor and Employment, National Capital Region, we'd like to extend to you our deepest, sincerest, warmest advance congratulations. So this afternoon, we are going to have a short discussion on, oh yan na, yun yung slide natin, no? Labor education for graduating students. So basically, we're going to talk about the basic labor standards. These are the minimum rights of workers that you need to know, because these are very basic lang, no? Later on, if you want to learn more, you can do some more research, and you can ask us queries, no questions, if you have other concerns later. But for the short time that we have this afternoon, let's focus on the basic. And by the way, you can call me Jerry. I'm currently with the Manila Field Office in operations, regional operations. So let's start our short module. Can we move on to the next slide? So here is our department, the DOLE, the Department of Labor and Employment at a glance. Makikita nyo dyan at the lower right portion yung ating logo, no? Sabi dyan, more than jobs, it's decent jobs. So what the DOLE envisions is that every Filipino attains, full, decent, and productive employment. And that's what we wish for each and every one of you. Sabi nila, nasa YouTube kayo lahat, no? So for those watching us, graduating students, we wish you all the best in looking for your first full, decent, and productive employment. And this is part of our fourfold mission. Can you proceed to the next part of the slide? Ayan. So we have a fourfold mission. Yan. So we try to promote gainful employment opportunities. So meron tayong mga guidelines on conduct of job fair, for example, of recruitment activities. So I think UE is very very helpful, very generous to help you out, guys. Sana mag-participate kayo dun sa mga ino-organize nila, including the online job fairs. Also, we have our partners like Job 180. You can listen to them later kay Sir Kim, no? And hopefully this will help you a lot in finding gainful employment opportunities. So that's the first of the fourfold mission. We also have we also aim to develop human resources and protect workers and promote their welfare. This is the crux. This is the focus of today's seminar. No, this is made, this information dissemination activity, to protect you, the future workforce, no, future Filipino workforce, and to promote your welfare. Kaya I hope you will listen very well, listen carefully to the basic standards that we will discuss. Because by doing so, you will be able to be apprised, malalaman ninyong mabuti kung ano yung mga karapatan ninyo bilang mga manggagawa. But I hope, you understand that there's a difference between knowing and doing, no, or exercising your rights. So after you learn, after you know, you become informed of your rights, I hope you exercise them in the near future. Huwag niyo i-compromise yung rights ninyo. Yan lang ang sasabihin natin dyan, ano. Why? It is not only because you're going to think of your own welfare, but, di ba, as future breadwinners of the family, of your own families, dapat isipin nyo rin yung kapakanan ng mga pamilya ninyo. And you can only advance their rights if you advance your own. So, huwag nating kalimutan yung mga matututunan natin ngayon, however basic they are, and gamitin natin sana para i-advance yung welfare natin in the future. And also, I think UE has already successfully prepared you, and still trying to prepare you some more to become effective, no, efficient, productive workers, no. But gusto niyo ba maging worker lang buong buhay, di ba? Maging employee buong buhay? I think that is not the mindset of the millennials, no, and the younger generations after the millennials. Saan ba kayo doon? But Di ba may mga management subjects kayo? So, why? Why did you take these subjects? Why did UE teach you things about management? This is because in the future you will be managers as well. And when you become managers, supervisors, by the way, are first line managers. So you will represent the employer na, no? So as future employers, no, baka kayo mismo yung maging may-ari ng company, no, or higher ranked officers of the company, you will become representatives of the employers also. And if you remember all of the things we are going to discuss this afternoon, malalaman niyo yung karapatan ng mga manggagawa. O, di ba? Malalaman niyo yung kung ano rin naman yung mga pwedeng gawin ng management when it comes to human resources, the basic principles, no? You will become our effective partners in maintaining industrial peace, and that's the last of the fourfold mission, no? We want, the companies that we have the employers, 'di ba? You can see the Dolo logo there on the lower right. It is a triangle, 'di ba? It is an equilateral triangle, no? Sabi nila it espouses tripartism. So there are three, in order for us to have a balanced workplace so that we will have industrial peace. Everybody there should approximately have equal rights, no? Equitably distributed, no? So you have in one corner, 'di ba, the management or the employers, the owners of companies, and in the other corner, diyan kayo magsisimula yung labor force natin, yung labor sector, the employees, no? And in private sector employment, yung third corner diyan, that is supposed to be the government in trying to keep the balance between the two in maintaining industrial peace. So in private sector employment, we have DOLE. We won't be discussing public sector employment. That's for the CSC and other pertinent government agencies. No, that is their mandate. Now, before we proceed further, in maintaining industrial peace, dahil I also engage in SENA in single entry approach, conciliation, mediation. Let me share with you this nugget of wisdom. No, I think you should listen carefully to what we are going to discuss also, not because you want to know about your rights, but also because I'm very, very sure, 100% you will have problems in the workplace. Walang perfectong empleyado. Walang ganun, di ba? You won't become a perfect employee and you won't be able to find a perfect employer, perfect organization tailor fit for you. So there are bound to be problems because of the imperfections of parties, no? The employees, the employers, their organizations, their associations, no? So paano na pag may problema, no? Sana matandaan nyo ito, yung mga karapatan ng mga workers. And also, saan kayo pupunta pag may problem na? Sa DOLE ba agad? Wag naman sa Tulfo ba? Wag naman, no? I hope you remember this. Kaya ko in-emphasize yung yung employees and employers equitable rights, because you also have shared responsibility, no, in keeping industrial peace. So kapag may problema sa trabaho, kapag employee ka, lalo na first time employees, our dear graduating students, no, i-approach nyo, you have communication skills, no, i-hone nyo to, improve nyo ito, you air your problems, your issues, wag naman disputes agad or grievances agad, no. Pag-usapan niyo po with your immediate supervisor. So that's the first step, and di pa rin maayos, then you go higher, you talk to your HR manager, all the way up to the higher levels or echelons of your organization in the future. I-exhaust natin lahat ng remedyo sa loob ng kumpanya, no? Administrative remedies inside the organization. After nyan, saka lang tayo mag-avail ng third-party intervention. And kami yon, no? In private sector employment, that's DOLE, primarily, no? During your employment. So, yun lang ang ating reminder dyan. In order to maintain industrial peace, no? Ayaw din naman natin na magkita tayo agad sa tanggapan ng DOLE, no? So please remember this, okay? So we exhaust all remedies and we try to communicate effectively our issues so that sana hindi na kailangan mag-intervene pa ng DOLE. But in case, we're here to help you out. So Let's move on with the basic rights of workers. And next slide, please. Okay, we are going to talk about types of employees, types of employment. But before we do that, let me just share with you the fourfold test of employment. It's very important that you remember this. Why? Because of lalo na naging clear ito, naging obvious ito in this time of pandemic because the advancements in information and communication technology has these advancements have blurred the lines of employee-employer relations. Why? Have you heard of freelancers, no? Yung mga work from home setup natin. Pag ang isang nagtatrabaho sa bahay ay nagtatrabaho, no? Gumagawa siya ng kanyang pagkakitaan, automatic ba siya ay employee? Kahit nga yung mga nasa opisina, yung iba, yung nasa physical setup, it does not mean they are automatically employees, no? So that's why I think it's very important for you to remember this fourfold test of employment, no? Bago mo sabihin na may karapatan ka bilang employee, dapat alam mo na empleyado ka talaga, no? Kasi there is no use in discussing the rights under the labor code and other pertinent labor laws kung hindi ka pala empleyado. So what is the fourfold test of employment? First, yung employee nyo po, lalo na magja-job fair kayo, no? Attend kayo ng job fair meaningfully. I hope you will participate, no? The first is your employer will be the one to hire you, no? Recruitment and selection of the worker. So paano mo malalaman 'yan? Basic, you will sign an employment contract, no? The employment contract should be written. You should read it very well, and then after reading it, after understanding it, that's the time you sign it, and then you get your own copy, physical copy of the employment contract. Okay, is that clear? All right, that's the first test, no? The test of hiring. Second is payment of wages. So whoever your employer is, future employer is, that entity, that person, will be the one paying your wages. Okay? Pati yung mga SSS fields, pag-ibig later on, we will be talking about these mandatory contributions. These form part and parcel of the wage. So it's very important. No? These also strengthen your claim that you are an employee associated or engaged with this particular employer. No? Sino nagbabayad ng wage and wage-related benefits. Third, what rhymes with hire? Diba? Hire rhymes with fire. No? So discipline, the ultimate form of discipline is firing or termination. That is also only exercised by the employer. And finally, the ultimate test of employment is that your employer will be the one controlling you. No? Not only on the results of your work, but also how you do your work. No? The manner, means, and method of work. Sabihin niya, anong uniform mo, anong ID susuot mo, saan ka magtatrabaho, anong oras, yan, magbabandi ka, ganyan. Okay? As opposed to, just to clarify, no? May mga freelance work kasi ngayon, di ba? You just work from home, then you produce a certain document required by your client, no? Client nga tawag niya sa sarili niya, hindi employer. Then you email or you send electronically the document you have agreed upon, the specifications of which you have agreed upon. So yun lang, results lang. And then after that, babayaran kayo. That is not a typical, no, employee-employee relationship. So you always apply the fourfold test of employment whenever we talk of employment rights, of the rights of workers, no. So can you click the slide, please, so we can show the other parts of the slide? Okay. All right. So these are basically the four types of employees, four types of employment, no. Okay. So our basis here would be the Labor Code of the Philippines, specifically Book 6, no, on post-employment. Yan. Pinag-usapan natin yung hiring kanina, that is pre-employment, and at the start of employment, masaya kasi yon. We are going to talk of relationships, di ba? In relationships, masaya sa simula, no? Sa dulo, medyo medyo may mga problems na, no? So later on, you can post some questions if you have any. We will try to answer them. Um, in in um, in employment, you also have to know what type of employment relations you have, no. So in book 6, it's entitled post employment, but pati yung types of employment nandun din, and particularly articles 295 and 296. Ito ay renumbered na, no, ng ating PD 442. Presidential Decree 442, way back 1974 pa ito. But it has been renumbered, no, and amended in a piecemeal or paunti-unti inaamyandahan natin yan to keep up with the times, no. So ano ba ang gustong ninyo na type of employment? 'Di ba? Everybody, 'di ba? Almost everybody wants to be hired as a regular employee, 'di ba? Okay, pero tatanungin ko kayo, ano bang mas marami ngayon, regular o hindi regular? 'Di ba? Parang mas marami na yung irregular o hindi regular or atypical ang tawag nila diyan, non-typical, no, na employment, no. Ba't nagkaganon? You have to delve if you need to delve deeper into that. May tinatawag tayong flexibilization of work or labor, and this arises from the need to compete with other countries, no? Globalization, no? Kasi iba ang labor laws doon, but yung mga katulad ng mga outsourced companies here in the Philippines, no, or even in manufacturing also, they have outsourced certain functions in our country. Ang competitors kasi natin hindi lang taga Pilipinas, kundi galing din sa ibang bansa, galing din sa ASEAN for example. So there is a need to adapt to these changing globalized models of doing business. So yun yung approximate, no, reason kung bakit mas maraming ngayon na atypical o hindi na regular employment. But in the Philippines, the general rule in employment is that an employee who is performing functions which are necessary or desirable to the usual business of the employer. Ibig sabihin, di ba, lahat naman ng hinahire kailangan, lahat naman ng hinahire gustong i-hire, di ba? Necessary or desirable. These are the exact terms used by Article 295, no, in describing regular employment. So, ang default, the general rule in employment is that employees should be hired on a regular basis, no, regular employment. Pero aasahan nyo ba na on your first employment, first day of first employment, will you be hired as a regular employee right away? Day one, regular agad? No, di ba? Most likely not. So, ano ba yung asahan ninyo? Yung isang type, right above regular employment, you have probationary employment, no? So, probationary employee is one who is on probation, no? Undergoes observation, evaluation, no? So, bakit ginagawa yan? They want to find out if you're fit for the job, di ba? Kung kaya nyo talagang gawin yung trabaho. Now, ang sabi ng Article 281, now 296 in the renumbered code is that probation should not exceed 6 months. Okay? That's 180 calendar days. So, gagalingan natin pag probationary, no? Babasahin nyo rin yung employment contract nyo. Dapat nakalagay dyan probationary employment, no? And nakalagay dyan yung criteria based on which you will be evaluated, like punctuality, ganyan, attendance, productivity, you know. So these are the areas that you need to be aware of. I-explain dapat sa inyo yan, no? And you will be trained to do your work effectively. Please take necessary steps to learn, no? From these provisions. Tapos after a certain period, you will be evaluated. Pag pumasa kayo, then you can continue to becoming a regular employee. Basically, a regular employee has continuous employment, no? As opposed to these other types, itong probationary, casual, contractual, they may have non-continuous, no? May tinatawag na day certain of end of employment, no? Okay? Now, let's move on to casual employment. Kung ang sinasabi natin kanina sa regular employment, these are necessary or desirable to the usual business. Ang casual employment mainly applies to temporary employment, no? Because these employees perform merely incidental or support, no, functions, no? Just to give you an example, di ba? In a private school, for example, private school, di ba? Ano ba yung mga nasa usual business? Pag pinag-usapan ng usual business, core business, or 'di ba, kung may articles of incorporation ka diyan doon sa mga nag-business law diyan or oblicon diyan, mga graduating students, no? Ito yung mga nakalagay sa primary purpose sa Articles of Incorporation or do sa business permit nila. Yun ang nakalagay doon na purpose kung bakit tinayo yung kumpanya, no? For example, it's a private school, so regular employees approximately, ano bang purpose niyan? To provide education, di ba? So, you have teachers, no? You have professors, you have instructors, lecturers, etc., no? For casual employment, di ba, halimbawa, may isang teacher, no? Most of them are women, no? Female teachers, di ba? Kapag nag maternity leave sila, for example, this is, nga, mamaya, we will dadaanan natin yan, yung about maternity leave, just a basic perusal, no? Anong mangyayari sa kanilang klase kapag nag-maternity leave itong teacher na ito? Hindi naman pwedeng wala ng klase, no? Masaya yung mga estudyante dyan, no? Uh, but the private school will probably, most probably hire, di ba? A temporary teacher or a reliever, no? So that arrangement can be on a casual basis. So casual employment does not exceed 365 calendar days or 1 year, no? So ano mangyayari kapag ni-renew yan? Matatapos na, tapos i-renew na naman, casual na naman, no? Uh, like any other types of employment, kapag bound by contracts yan, tapos ni-renew yung mga contracts, ito lang yung itatanong mo dyan. Bakit nire-renew yung kontrata? No? Does that mean the employee is so much necessary? Ano ba yun? Kailangan? Desirable ba siya? Gustong-gusto pang i-retain? What am I describing now? These are the terms used to describe regular employment. Remember, in Article 295. So, isa yan sa mga hallmarks na as a future employer also, mag-hire kayo, bakit kailangan na baguhin yung kontrata paulit-ulit na i-hire? Unless you're an OFW. OFWs are really hired on a contractual fixed term basis, no? But for local employment, ito po ang tatandaan natin, baka indicator yan na paulit-ulit yung renew ng kontrata, baka kailangan na sabihin na talagang regular employee siya. No? For casual employment, again, it does not exceed 1 year. It is merely support. It is merely temporary. Sa private school din, kung direct hire nila yung janitors nila, for example, no, these are just examples. No? Halimbawa, yung mga support nila, ano bang support? Mga security guards, maintenance personnel, they can hire on a casual basis if these are merely support and these are merely temporary, no? And finally, contractual employment. I don't really recommend using contractual because contractual means bound by contracts or applying certain contracts. Now, all types of employment are bound by contracts. So all of them essentially are contractual. Pero ngayon, bakit nagkakaroon ng terminolohiya lalo na, 'di ba? Election issues na naman ito, contractualization, endo. I don't know if you're watching, 'di ba? Debates in media, no? Ano ba ibig sabihin niyan? Ibig sabihin nila diyan yung mga short-term employment, no? Katulad ng sinabi natin, these are non-continuous forms of employment. If you read the labor code, no, let's go back to Article 295. Ang ginamit doon ng mga short-term employment with which are non-continuous. For example, yung project employment. Nung nasa isip ng gumawa niyan noong 1974, the legislative intent was to cover construction projects originally, no? Ano ba 'yun, 'di ba? Nakita kayo ng mga construction project diyan sa labas. Wala namang tapos na yung construction project, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung pagpapasahod sa mga construction worker. Wala na silang gagawin, 'di ba? So obviously, this is a special type of undertaking. May simula yung project, may katapusan yung project. At karamihan ng mga project, these are divisible by stages. Halimbawa, masonry, no? Mga mason natin, ano ba gagawin nila? During the first step lang o first stage of the project, may cement works, no? Pero pagka matatapos na, wala nang gagawin kundi halimbawa, interior design or painting. Wala nang pangangailangan ng mga mason. So understandably, the masons will only be employed for the first stage of the project, no? Just an example, no? So these are project employment. So dapat totoo yung proyekto, bona fide yung proyekto. Ano po ba yung mga non-continuous dyan? Meron ding tinatawag na seasonal employment or season-based employment. So in 1974, the legislative intent was to cover agricultural workers, no? Di ba mga galing sa probinsya dyan, paano ba ang trabaho sa bukid, no? Sa farms? So merong planting season, di ba? Season, no? Being the operative term there, no? So season, planting season, then you also have, di ba, a very uh, huge interval. So mahaba-habang paghihintay, and then you have harvest season. So in between, walang gagawin yung workers, understandably, they would be placed on furlough or floating muna sila or temporarily suspended yung work, di ba? Babalik sila during harvest season. So these are seasonal employees. But they can also be regular seasonal employees uh, in as much as they will be employed for the same activities uh, on the following years, no? As long as they have been employed for more than one agricultural season, no? So yun yung season employment. May tinatawag din tayong fixed term. Medyo ano yan, mahabang usapan, no? You can look up what happened to um, there is a case of Zamora, no? Um, basically ito ay agreement, no, between the employer and the employee who are more or less situated on the same level, no? There is no moral dominance exerted by the former over the latter. Hindi yan nag-a-apply doon sa mga usually unskilled jobs, yung mga tinatanggap na lang dahil wala na talagang makuhang trabaho, no? So yung fixed term employment, as much as possible, if you're not sure, do not undergo or do not be engaged on a fixed term basis unless you really understand the terms and conditions of employment and that you're willing to uh, accept that at a certain date, no, your employment would automatically terminate, no. So you can read more, medyo mahabang research yan, Brent School versus Zamora. Okay, so we're done with types of employees. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so pag nag-work na tayo, I hope you can see this table very clearly. Ang daily minimum wage, ang pinakamababa na pwedeng ibigay sa mga manggagawa dito sa NCR ay we have two minimum wages. The higher minimum daily wage is 537. The lower daily minimum wage is 500. No? So for most companies, you have 537, no, non-agriculture. But these are the industries which can pay you lower minimum daily wage of 500: agriculture, retail service with 15 workers or less, or manufacturing establishments with less than 10 workers. So bakit ganito yung structure? I think may nagtanong na niyan, advanced. Merong advanced question na pinost kanina. This is basically made due to the Wage Rationalization Act, no? 6727. But the main reason is that kapag maliit pa yung negosyo, hindi nila kaya. Halimbawa, kayo, magtatayo kayo ng maliit na, halimbawa, grocery, ganyan. Kaya nyo ba na makipagsabayan sa malalaking mga supermarket, mga, let's say, department stores, like, di ba, yung kulay blue, yung kulay red dyan, di ba, lalaki nila. Yung kulay green, malalaking mga supermarket yan. Kaya ba ng isang maliit na grocery makipagsabayan? No. Because we have concepts such as economies of scale. So, pinapayagan ng batas yan, mas mababa yung labor cost ng mga maliliit na negosyo para makapag-survive sila. No? And they can, through as time passes, they can get reasonable returns on their investments, and they can grow, they can expand and grow. No, these are their entitlements according to our constitution. So expansion and growth. So, by the time na lumaki sila, yon. So lalaki yung social responsibility nila towards our Filipino communities. So that's the time na kaya na nilang bayaran yung mas mataas na minimum wages. Okay, this is only an NCR, by the way. If you go out of the NCR, which we recommend, no, we recommend that you look for jobs not only in the NCR but actually mas malaki na ang population ng, for example, 4A, no, Calabarzon. But just remember that if you decide to go out of the NCR, there are different minimum wages applicable there. No, these are minimum, so companies obviously can pay more. No, if they are more generous and the skills required of the job the talents required are more in demand, so they might offer higher wages. Now, also wages, minimum wages usually increase, no? After 1 year. Usually may nagpe-petition dyan, labor sector, no, to increase the minimum wage. Katulad ngayon, kabi-kabila ang mga, di ba, petisyon para tumaas ang sahod. Kapag di-deliberate yan ng ating regional wage boards, regional tripartite wage and productivity boards. And then kung ma-consider yan based on the, di ba, capacity to pay of the employers, and then you also have the needs of the workers, di ba, and also you have the requirements for of the economy, no? So kapag pumasa yan, then we will have higher minimum daily wages. It will be published in newspapers and other forms of media before they take effect. Okay? So again, 537 is the higher minimum daily wage, 500 is the lower. Barangay micro businesses are exempted, by the way, from paying minimum daily wages. You can read more about them there with the DTI, no? Barangay micro business. Okay? All right. Let's move on. Now, this is the list, no? Summarized, no? Sabi ko sa inyo, this is a compressed module of the general labor standards. These are the monetary benefits of workers, no? So we have talked about number 1, minimum wage. Now let's talk about holiday pay, Article 94. No, in our labor code, we have 2 types of holidays, no? So what Article 94 speaks of are regular holidays, no? Kung may regular holiday, syempre may special holiday or special non-working days, no? Holiday pay means that kapag nagtrabaho ka ng regular holiday, 12 lang yan na dates in the calendar. By the way, November 1 is not a regular holiday. It's a special non-working day. Remember that, please. And kung regular holiday nagtrabaho, you get double pay, no? Kung hindi ka nagtrabaho, magtrabaho ka doon sa last working day immediately before the regular holiday. Kahit na hindi ka na magtrabaho ng regular holiday, then you still get paid 100% lang, no? So kung 537 yan, 537 yan for that day, unworked regular holiday. Pag pinagtrabaho ka ng regular holiday, for example, minimum daily wager ka, higher minimum daily wage, 537 times 2, that's what you get. Okay? Number 3, premium pay. So what does that mean? Premium pay is for work done on, yung sinabi natin kanina, special holiday or special non-working day, or your rest day, di ba? May rest day tayong tinatawag, no? In 1 week of 7 days, 7 calendar days, there needs to be at least 1 rest day. Pero yung rest day na yon, mamili niyan generally employer, except for religious grounds. For religious grounds, dapat sabihin niyo yan before sa employer ninyo or future employer ninyo, pwede kayong mamili ng rest day ninyo. But kahit na rest day, pwede pa rin kayong pagtrabahuhin ng employer. Pero dapat babayaran nila kayo ng mas mataas. That is why we call it premium pay, Article 93. Now, premium pay is not double pay. It's just a premium of plus 30% on the 100% wage rate for that day. So, for example, 537, you multiply it by 1.3, that's what you get for your premium pay for that work day. By the way, how long is a work day? The regular work day is comprised of 8 working hours. 8 working hours. Ano mangyayari pag lagpas sa 8 working hours? Kung authorized yan ng employer ninyo, you get overtime pay. No? Overtime work, authorized overtime work equals overtime pay. Please take note, it should be authorized by the employer. So as not to have any problems or disputes on later on. No? So make sure you get authorization. So overtime pay is plus 25% on your hourly wage rate. Let me just emphasize that, hourly. So paano i-compute yan? Example, higher minimum daily wage in NCR, 537, then you divide it by 8, you get your hourly wage rate, diba? And then you multiply that with or by 1.25. That's your hourly overtime rate, no? And then you can multiply by the number of overtime hours that you have rendered. Okay, so that's for overtime plus 25%. Kung overtime ng ano yan, holiday or your rest day, that's plus 30%. Okay? Now, for night shift differential, anong oras ba ang ating night shift? Night shift is between 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Okay? So, kahit portion yan, halimbawa hanggang alas 11 ng gabi, you still get 1 hour of night shift differential. So, what is the night shift differential rate? That the minimum is plus 10%. So, halimbawa, 537 divided by 8 hours, that's your hourly rate. Then you multiply it by 1.1. That is your night shift differential hourly rate. Now, you multiply it by the number of night shift hours you have rendered work in. Okay? So, for service charges, Article 96, it has been amended by the service charge law. Dati, may napupunta pang portion, I think 15% to the management, no? So 85% sa workers. But with the new law, 100%. Pag basta may nakita kayo dun sa receipt, usually in restaurants, in tourism establishments, may nakalagay doon na service charge. Paghahatian yon ng mga rank and file workers, meaning below supervisor, no? Supervisory pala. Let me emphasize, siguro marami sa inyo gustong maging managers, supervisors, no? Supervisors and up, managerial staff and up, no? Hindi na sila entitled dito sa mga pinag-uusapan nating mga general labor standards rights, no? So wala na silang holiday pay, wala na silang overtime pay, etc. Pero mas mataas naman ang mga sahod ng mga managers. So, but if the company wishes, no, kung gusto nilang magbigay ng overtime pay for managers, nothing will prevent them. No, that's more generous. If that's their company policy, no problem with us. But for rank and file, these are mandatory. No? So, nasa na ba tayo? Service charges, pinaghahatian ng rank and file yan. Basta automatic yan. Pag may service charges siningil sa mga kliyente or customers, every quincenas, every katapusan, or kung kailan man yung sahod. O kailan ba ang sahod? Dapat twice a month yan. Hindi yan pwedeng once a month. It should be twice a month at least. No? Pwedeng weekly, pwedeng daily, but the minimum is twice a month. The maximum interval is 16 days. No? So, yun yung service charge. For service incentive leave, after 1 year of service, ang empleyado po ay binibigyan dapat ng 5 days of paid leave. No? Whether the employee uses it whenever he or she is sick or whenever he or she wants to go on vacation. Wala kasing nakalagay sa labor code na sick leave or vacation leave. SIL lang, service incentive leave. Pag hindi niya nagamit, even a portion thereof, alam mo, 3, hindi niya nagamit, pwede siyang ma-convert to cash, no? By the end of the year, no? So yun ang maganda pagka hindi ka masyadong nagli-leave. Maternity leave, no? Expanded na yan. We have RA 11210. So maternity leave is comprised of 105 calendar days. Pagka successful yung delivery, 60 days naman kung miscarriage. Huwag naman sana. No? So para sa mga kababaihan natin yan. Para sa mga lalaki naman na may legal wife, cohabiting with the legal wife, and up to 4 availments na lang. Ang maternity leave pala, unlimited ang availment, ha? Hindi rin kailangang legally married pa. Sa paternity, kailangan legally married, cohabiting with lawful wife, and in lawful wife yung nag-deliver ng baby, yan, 7 calendar days of paid leave yan. Okay? And up to 4 deliveries lang yan, guys. Ha? So, dahan-dahan lang tayo. And for solo parents naman, kuha tayo. Medyo mahirap maging solo parent. But if that's the case, kuha tayo ng ID issued by the DSWD or the local government's social work office. And pag certified na tayo na solo parent, after 1 year of service, we can inform our employers, future employers, that we can avail of 7 working days of paid leave. No, this is for parental concerns. No, okay, so that is for solo parent leave. Now, for VAUSI, what is VAUSI? This means violence against women and children. So for VAUSI, that is up to 10 calendar days of paid leave depending on the court or barangay protection order. So extendable yan depending on the protection order. Pero sana hindi natin ma-avail dahil mahirap maging victim of violence. Okay? Item number 12, especially for women under Magna Carta. Kailan ba ginagamit yan? Pag sinertify ng OBGYN na yung ating female worker ay kailangan mag-undergo ng gynecological surgery. Mastectomies are also included, no? So up to 60 calendar days of paid leave every year. Pero it will not be shouldered by the SSS or GSIS for that matter. It will be shouldered by the employer. So I think no makita nyo ang daming leave especially for women. But let me just emphasize we have to be responsible employees as well, no? There is this again, this is a constitutional principle, no? Merong shared responsibility, mutual responsibility between the workers and or the employees and the employers para maging successful yung company, no? And you'll also have rewarding careers, no? Finally, 13th month pay, no? Excited na kayo diyan. I don't know kung anong bibili niyo diyan. No, siguro by December you will get your first 13th month pay. Oh, baka matanong niyo, eh sir, hindi pa kami naka 1 year yan. No. The minimum requirement of getting 13th month pay is just 30 calendar days of work. 1 month lang, no? You get, yun nga lang proportional, no? What is the formula for 13th month pay? Total basic pay over 12. Tandaan nyo ha, total basic lang, basic. Excluding everything here except the basic wage. Usually it's part of the minimum wage, no? And then divided by 12. I-deduct dyan, syempre, kung may mga unauthorized absences kayo, unpaid leaves, mga ganyan, no? Late, tardiness, yan, ganyan. So, understandably, kung perfect attendance ninyo, no? Or ginamit nyo puro paid leave, tapos perfect, tapos hindi naman kayo, wala kayong unauthorized or unpaid leave, approximately it will be equal to 13-month pay is equal to 1 month. Kaya nga 13 month, 1 month pay. Now, kailan binibigay yan? On or before? December 24 para masaya ang Noche Buena ng pamilyang Pilipino. Okay? So these are the basic general labor standards. So we can move on to the next slide na. Okay, now we have this concept of, I only have limited time, so let me just take this faster. No? Can you show the next elements of the slide, please? Ayan. So sa Pilipinas, may security of tenure. Hindi pwedeng tanggalin ng worker except kung may kasalanan siya at napatunayan yun, which is just cause. We call just causes for termination. Or wala namang kasalanan yung employee but for economic reasons. Maraming naging ganyan nung pandemic. No? Authorized causes for termination and only after due process. So let me just emphasize this. Ang pagtatanggal sa trabaho dapat tama yung dahilan na ayon sa ating labor code. And second, tama yung proseso. Again, naayon sa ating labor code and established jurisprudence, yung mga ruling ng ating Supreme Court, no? So, ano ba yung mga authorized causes? Let's move on. For authorized causes, meron tayo automatic na separation pay. Okay? Ito yung mga lower ang binibigay na separation pay. Yes? Okay. So, 1/2 month pay per year of service, no? Kung retrenchment to prevent losses. So, not actual losses. Pwedeng actual, but the company can also institute retrenchment kung inaasahan na nila o imminent na to prevent imminent losses, no? Closure, basta hindi bankruptcy ang dahilan. Pag bankruptcy po, wala talaga. Mahirap, sabi ng court, mahirap magpiga ng bato, no? Kahit anong piga mo dyan, baka wala nang natitira talaga. So kung closure yan, not due to serious losses or financial reverses, meron pa rin tayong separation pay. And finally, in Article 299, no, or 284 previously, we have incurable disease. Pag sinabi ng pampublikong doktor, sinertify niya na itong manggagawa o empleyadong ito hindi nagagaling sa kanyang sakit kahit na may treatment within the next 6 months. So the employer may use that as a ground for authorized cause for termination. No? But they need to pay you separation pay. Okay? Now, 1 month pay per year of service naman kung, proceed to the next slide please. Ito yung mga authorized causes. May mga tinatawag ngayon na automation, no? Yung iba nga hindi na mechanical machines, no? Electronic machines, mga yung iba algorithms na lang yung gumagawa ng trabaho ng tao, no? So these all form part of installation of labor saving devices. Instead of being labor intensive, nagiging labor saving, no? Or instead of labor intensive, nagiging capital intensive yung production, no? Redundancy, pag nasobrahan ng hiring yan. So we have to be careful kung kayo maging manager in the future, employer, no? You have to be careful on hiring workers. And finally, we have impossible reinstatement. But this happens after lengthy litigation. So hindi naman yan uh, basta-basta nangyayari, not unless hindi na talaga may balik yung worker. And there is also strained labor relations na hindi na maganda yung relationship nilang dalawa. Alright? So 1 month per year of service ang separation pay dyan. Remember, all of these fall under authorized causes. Walang kasalanan yung worker. These are economic reasons and other reasons such as disease authorized by law. Now, ito po, under just causes for termination, next po. Ito po yung mga iwasan natin dahil maaari itong maging dahilan ng pagkatanggal sa trabaho ng walang separation pay. At pangit din po ito tingnan sa ating mga resume. Ayan, serious misconduct. Ayan, di ba? Examples na lang, halimbawa, sexual harassment. Bawa, di ba? Fist fighting, yung nagsuntukan sa loob ng opisina, wag sa loob, no? So, wag din sa labas, lalo na kung naka-uniform kayo. Kasi may mga instances na ganyan. Usong-uso ang social media ngayon, no? It might damage the reputation of your company in the future. So, iwasan natin siya. No? Let cooler heads prevail. No? Let's follow our company policies. No? Willful disobedience. Basta inutusan, number one rule in employment is to obey. No? A worker should obey. Kung hindi natin kayang sumunod, mahirap yan. Please do not be employed. Ano ka na lang, tayo ka ng sarili mong company, become an entrepreneur instead. Kasi as long as you are a worker, you have to obey. No? Okay, gross and habitual neglect of duty, ano ba yan? Mga habitual tardiness, absenteeism, mga ganyan yan. So iwasan natin yan kasi kahit makalagpas tayo sa probationary period, pwede pa rin natin ikatanggal sa trabaho kung tuloy-tuloy yung ganung klase ng habit, no? Lagi kasi yung mga maliliit kasi ng infraction niyan, di ba? Parang maliit na ba to? Pag inipon mo yan, bumibigat yan, no? That is di ba? Gradation of penalties, gradation of offenses and their commensurate penalties. So iwasan natin na lumala, no? And fraud or willful breach of trust. So, di ba? Wag na tayong magtatamper ng mga records, di ba? Positions of trust and confidence. Halimbawa, in one instance, in a restaurant, yung chef doon, di ba? In one instance, yung teller sa isang bangko. Mga managers, generally, these are positions of trust and confidence. So pag nawala yung trust, yung confidence ng employer sa'yo as an employee, maaari mong ikatanggal sa trabaho. But hindi naman basta-basta yan. Meron talagang factual basis for that loss of trust, no? So as much as possible, we exercise skill and care. No, that's another duty of the employee to exercise skill and care over their work. So later we will have a recap of the employees' duties naman. No, hindi lang puro karapatan. No, dapat alam din natin responsibilities and commission of crime. Hindi kahit anong krimen naman. Kung yung crime is against the employer's relative up to fourth degree, or employer's representative, yung mga inutusan nila to supervise us, to exert control over us as an employee, igalang natin sila. No? Do not commit crimes against them because aside from civil or criminal action, pwede rin yung pangatlo, yung administrative action, which can lead to disciplinary actions or termination. No? Other analogous cases such as gross inefficiency. So pag nag-coaching sa atin, nag-intervention sa atin ng HR, for example, we pay attention so that we can improve. No? Hindi yun yung paulit-ulit na lumalabas sa mga job appraisal natin. We try to improve. Okay? Then, paano naman ang tamang proseso? Next slide po. So, in authorized causes, just causes muna tayo. Just remember this is very easy to remember, no? Twin notice and hearing, no? Not always hearing, but more importantly, in cases of violations, alleged violations, which can lead to termination, no? As a future employer as well, dapat yung tandaan to. As a future employee, pag pinag-uusapan ng termination na hatol, no, sa violation ng worker, talagang as much as possible, we conduct administrative hearing. Now, yung twin notice, ano yung unang notice? Ito yung sasabihin sa'yo kung anong nagawa mong mali. No? Notice to explain, show cause letter or memo. Yan, nakalagay dyan, ano yung evidence na yan. Tapos kung may administrative hearing, nakalagay dyan, yung opportunity to be heard mo. So, bibigyan ka ng 5 araw. Tandaan nyo to ha, 5 calendar days within which you submit your explanation. Written explanation. And then, there is also a schedule of administrative hearing, lalo na kung termination issue yan. And finally, yung second notice, yun yung notice on imposition or non-imposition of penalty. So the management's decision will be embodied in the second memo or notice, no? So hindi naman laging termination yan. Halimbawa, yung iba wala talagang kasalanan, so nakalagay doon. Yung iba gumaan, no? May mga mitigating circumstance. For example, isang beses pa lang niya nagawa yan, for example. Meron ding suspension, merong transfer, mga ganyan. These are other types of disciplinary actions. For authorized causes naman, yung may mga separation pay kanina, can you show the other parts of the slide, please? Due process means written notice, no? So again, twin notice pa rin yan. Unang notice sa employee. Pangalawang notice sa DOLE, sa amin. So we need to know what the employer is going to do with their displaced employees and for what grounds, no? And of course, we want to know if they are paid separation pay. And kailangan ginagawa yan 30 days before the effectivity of whatever authorized cost that is. For example, retrenchment or closure. So 30 days at least, no? They can inform us in advance, more than 30 days in advance, but not less than. Kasi meron ng procedural lapse doon. That can mean ineffectual yung kanilang termination. Now, meron tayong form na sinasubmit ng mga employer, no? Especially during the pandemic, ginawa nating online yan para mas madaling i-submit, no? And mga future workers, I think this will be very important to you kasi wala na yatang yung unang work mo, yun na yung work mo forever until you retire. Tama ba? Wala nang ganun, no? You do not see yourself working until you retire in one company, no? So paano mag-resign ng tama? So, the 30-day notice rule also applies, no? 30-day notice. So ano ibig sabihin nito? Mag-submit po kayo, tandaan nyo ito, ng written resignation ng magalang, di ba? Tinanggap tayo ng maayos, aalis din tayo ng maayos. So, bibigyan natin ng notice yung ating employer na 30 days henceforth, ito yung date of effectivity which is not less than 30 days upon receipt of the employer, ako po ay aalis na sa kumpanya. Pwede nyo ilagay yung rason, kahit walang reason at all. Nasa sa inyo yan. Basta may proper notification. This is a requirement of law. Unless you might be held liable for damages. So just remember this. This is very important. Okay? This is part of procedural due process. Okay. So next po. Now for retirement, I think wala pa namang magre-retire dito. Baka may kilala kayo, baka parents ninyo, no? Retirement formula is, can you show the whole slide please? Yan, 60 years old, optional, 65 compulsory. The minimum retirement pay formula is daily rate nyo times 22.5 days times years in service. So mas malaki pag mas matagal ka na doon sa employer mo. Okay? So this is for retirement pay. Nga pala, meron din tayong tinatawag from SSS unemployment insurance for authorized causes of termination. So yung mga sinabi natin sa authorized causes, pwede yung maging ground para makapag-claim kayo kay SSS ng unemployment insurance. Okay? But that would be for another topic. Okay, next. Next po. Now, for social legislations, ano ba yung mga pwedeng ibawas sa sahod? So you have SSS, you have PhilHealth. May pag-ibig na ba kayo? Wala pa? Okay. Lagi ko itong sinasabi para magising yung nakikinig eh. Alright, bakit ko sinasabi yan? Because these are mandatory. Pre-employment pa lang hahanapin na yan. So during the job fair, dapat may presenta na kayo, lalo na kung hanapin yan, no? SSS, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig. And also, do not forget BIR TIN, no? Tax Identification Number. Oo. Kasi failure to provide these pre-employment requirements, kasi magiging sakit ng ulo ng employer niya yan, no? Every time we do inspections, labor inspections, hahanapin namin yan. Kung walang maipakita, then we presume na hindi sila kino-cover yung mga employees na yon. Bawal din sa employee na tumanggi na ayoko pong mag-pag-ibig. No, hindi. No choice ka. You need pag-ibig, no? Okay? So, and also income taxes, kung applicable. Minimum wagers, by the way, are exempted from income tax. Okay? Next po. Okay, sige po, next pa. Yan. Now we proceed to safe working conditions. We're now in book 4 of the labor code. But we have much recent law 11058. Pwede nyo basahin if you have time, no? Department Order 198 also. So ano ba yung mga hanapin natin? Hindi lang puro sahod or benepisyo. Hanapin din natin yung ligtas na pagtatrabahuhan, no? Lalo na ngayon, may pandemic, no? So we have to be sure na safe tayo dyan. Next slide, please. So, may mga hazards kasi at work. So, pag may mga dangerous environment elements, contaminants, poisonous substances, o biological agents, kasama siguro dyan yung mga illnesses ngayon. Airborne na nga, di ba? Airborne illnesses we have like COVID, no? So, ano dapat ang binibigay? We have to have, narinig yun na yung PPE, no? This is the last line of defense, no? Personal protective equipment, no? Di ba yung mask na sinusuot natin, no? I'm not wearing any mask pala because I'm really, really socially distant right now. But in workplaces, dapat nakamask, di ba? Sa pantry, dapat nakamask, di ba? Even in restaurants, if you go there, no? So, talagang ito yung last line of defense. Yung first two lines before PPE, you have administrative control, so may mga policy, ano ba, no smoking area, mga ganyan. And then engineering control. Engineering control, halimbawa, yung mga, di ba, let's make it more simpler, no? You have partitions ngayon, di ba? These are engineering controls, no? Physical barriers na yan, no? And finally, yung PPE. Okay? So next po, ano pa yung ibang indicator, next slide, ng safe working conditions? So you have appropriate seats, lighting, ventilation, adequate passageways, facilities for men and women, comfort rooms, no? Safety devices, medicine, medical supplies, and free medical and dental services. Most companies nowadays enter into MOA na, no? Agreements now with the nearest hospital, nearest clinic, dental clinic, for example. These can be arranged naman. We honor these arrangements so that they won't they won't need to hire, you know, full-time occupational nurses or physicians anymore, no? But first aiders are a must, no? Kailangan may first aiders, kailangan may safety officers in each company, each and every company, no? So pag mag-apply kayo, hanapin nyo agad nasan po si safety officer, nasan po si first aider, nasan po yung fire exit, yung firefighting equipment, yung fire extinguishers. These are very important in cases of emergencies. No? Okay? Finally, we're done with your rights. Let's talk about, again, a review of the employees' duties. No? Ano yung ulit yung number one duty of employees? The duty to obey. So please, sumunod po tayo sa reasonable and lawful rules, no, instructions. Next po. You also have the duty to exercise skill and care para hindi naman nagsabihin na nagpapabaya tayo, no? And finally, loyalty, no? The duty of good faith and loyalty. Mahirap maghanap ng loyal, di ba? Ngayon, no? Bigyan ko lang kayo samples, no? May mga non-compete clauses dyan, may mga non-fraternization clauses dyan. Ano yung non-fraternization na yan? Babasahin yung mga company policy nyo, bawal makipagrelasyon sa kaopisina, ganun. Supervisors and their subordinates or direct reports, bakit naman? Well, this is logical. Hindi naman yan sa gusto lang nila. No. Because, di ba, may tinatawag na conflict of interest. Anong uunahin mo? Di ba? Opisina o ako? O, di ba? Employer mo o ako, di ba? So, it's very important to establish that we are doing our jobs, our work, diligently, in good faith, and with loyalty. Okay? Now, for any other questions, we don't have time anymore. So, next slide, please. This is our 24/7 hotline. No? Nung Holy Week, nagsara lang siya saglit. No? But 24/7 yan. NCR, Manila Field Office hotlines, websites, and we also have email address. No? So, you can post queries for us to answer. We'll try to correspond with you the best way we can. Okay, so hopefully you have learned a lot, even though we have limited time this afternoon. And if we have time for Q&A, please do post your questions. Again, we thank UE Manila for allowing us to be part of this seminar. Thank you very much. Good afternoon po to each and everyone.
Thank you, Sir Jerry, for the highly informative talk on labor education for graduating students or legs. Now, at this point, may I call on Ms. Lira Daza to facilitate the open forum?
Good afternoon to our esteemed resource persons and to our students tuned in our YouTube Live. We have chosen some of the most common questions sent by our graduating students for our speakers via the pre-registration form and via the comment section of our YouTube Live. And these are the questions sent for our first resource person, Mr. Jeremiah Carlos. Our first question is, what are the important things that should be considered by fresh graduates when choosing their first job and company to work to?
I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time? I did not get the question.
Yes, po. The first question is, what are the important things that should be considered by fresh graduates when choosing their first job and company to work to?
Okay, so in choosing your first job, career coaching na pala to, ah. Not only labor standards, no. I will quote directly from, we have a program with the Bureau of Local Employment. They're the one in charge here in this ang tawag ba dito? Promotion of gainful employment opportunities. You have basically three things you have to consider. No? First, syempre, your academic background, your grades, uh, um, the course that you have finished here in UE in college. No, um, is this directly related to the demands or the requirements of the job you're applying for? What we strongly recommend is that talagang may apply nyo yung natutunan ninyo sa UE, no? So if it's di ba, if you have learned, for example, accounting, no, you have to look for employment related to the application of accountancy skills, for example. Now, the second thing you have to consider is your personality, no? Ano bang klaseng personality meron ka? I think your guidance office is the GCCSO will help you out there. Kung ano yung bagay sa inyo based on your personality. Introvert ka ba? Extrovert ka ba? Ano ka ba? Judger ka? Feeler ka? Di ba may mga ganyang aspect ng personality, no? And finally, third, you have to consider the labor market, no? So you get labor market information. Pinapublish yan. Meron din tayong partners aside from the BLE Project Jobs Fit, we also have uh, Job Street or other LinkedIn, for example. May mga ano sila labor market trends na pinopost, no? Given this pandemic, I think maraming opportunities in the healthcare sector, in the IT sector, in the Philippines, in the construction sector. So ito yung mga i-consider ninyo in looking for a job, in looking for a company. Ito bang area na ito na economic sector na to poised for growth? No, maybe I can grow with it. My personality suitable for it. Yung pinag-aralan ko, siguradong ma-apply ko diyan. If your answer to these three considerations would be positive or yes, then most probably it will lead you to a successful career. Thank you.
And thank you very much, sir. For our second question from our YouTube Live. Does all types of work need a probationary employee, or is it only specified for a specific type of work?
Hindi naman lahat kailangan dumaan sa probation. Malay mo, may mga companies na gusto nila regular agad, no problem. That would be even better, no? Yung iba, di ba sabi natin maximum period of probation is 6 months, no? Yung iba 3 months lang. That's better. Meron din namang mas mahaba. Ano ba 'yun? Example na lang, yung under MORPS or MORFE. Sino tong mga ito? Special laws 'yan. You can do some research later on. For private schools or private higher education, gaano ba katagal probation diyan? 3 years. So you have, 'di ba? 6 semesters or 9 trimesters, ganun kahaba diyan. That is what is prescribed by law. So meron din naman katulad ng mga ibang types like project or season employment, 'di ba? Walang probation diyan, no? Diretso agad 'yan sa pagiging project employee or seasonal employee, no? So not everyone gets hired on day one as a probationary worker or employee. It really depends on the status of employment that they will give you. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. For our third question, the question about the wage systems have been answered na po a while ago. So the follow-up question for that is, can you share tips on how to properly value oneself if asked by an employer to give a ballpark figure or an estimation of one's value in terms of salary?
Salary negotiation. Medyo mahirap 'yan, ah. Ah, for to start with, yung minimum wage siguro, no? Of course, uh, 'di ba? We have mandatory wage, no? So it should not be below. That's the first guideline. It should not be below the minimum wage. That's the first thing you need to consider in negotiating your wage. Second, ano ba yung running rate in the industry? Ngayon, medyo mahirap mag-access niyan. May mga websites like I don't want to endorse any website kasi. You can just Google it, no? Ano ba yung mga shinare ng mga may similarly situated employees? May mga website na ganyan. Meron din sa JobStreet, sa LinkedIn, 'di ba? May mga running around this much salary. So you can have that as your index or your uh 'di ba, indicative starting point for salary negotiation. You can also ask your seniors, no, ano ba yung rate nila nung nag-start sila. Lalo na kung may mga associations or clubs kayo diyan in UE, 'di ba? You can do that. For government naman kasi it's already posted. We all have standard salary grades. So there are also associations na merong ganyan like ECOP or PMAP, the Employers Confederation of the Philippines. PMAP, the Personnel Management Association of the Philippines. Personnel Managers Association of the Philippines, no? They have publications. I don't know if you can access it for free or for a fee, no, though. So, nandun yung mga running rates nila for salaries. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. For our next question, since we will be graduating during the recovery period of the country from the impact of the pandemic, what are the things that fresh graduates must be prepared for to adapt with the new normal of employment hiring and hybrid working?
So basically, you're asking for challenges in uh, ano ba, post-pandemic ba? Parang ongoing pa eh.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Ongoing pandemic, workplace. Yun, first of all, yung challenges ng telecommuting, di ba? Nasubukan, I think, nag-OJT ba kayo through telecommuting? Or yung online OJT? Yeah.
Mostly
Yun.
virtual, sir.
Virtual, yeah. So that is similar to what you will be doing, no? So there are a lot of collaborative software like the one we're using right now, no? Online software na ginagamit yung applications, no? So you have to be familiar with them. Yung ways of online collaboration, networking, no? Social interaction online, no? So yun yung mga challenges dyan eh. Tapos ano pa, you have to be familiar with the technologies being used, no? So kahit sa government, 'di ba? Medyo may mga challenges sa pag-adapt diyan. Not everyone is an early adopter or not everyone is tech savvy. So if you're late adopter or if you're not that much of a tech savvy person, you really have to learn as early as now. Paano ba gumamit ng halimbawa Microsoft 365? Paano ba gumamit ng Google Workspace ganyan? 'Di ba? So these are your main challenges. And hindi lahat work from home pa rin. I don't know if you've heard of the latest development. In PEZA, for example, yung mga economic zones natin, karamihan ng mga BPOs and other IT-enabled services are located in PEZA locators like buildings, no, skyscrapers. 70% na hindi require na bumalik sila sa physical workspace, no. 30% na lang ina-allow na work from home. So, anong challenge niyan pag bumalik kayo sa face-to-face work? So how do you keep safe, no? in the middle of this pandemic? So you learn the basic COVID protocols, and you have to be patient enough to apply them each and every day. Sabi ko, 'di ba, may mga safety officers diyan, may inspection ng DOLE diyan, ng DTI, ang LGUs, the local government also. So these are all the challenges. Marami pa 'yan. But these are the things you can start with, no? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. For our next question, how does the pandemic affect the probability of acquiring a job for some of us who only had our on-the-job training virtually? And then a follow-up question, po, how will we be able to compete in industries where people prioritize those with real-world experience, given that we graduate from virtual classes and on-the-job experience?
Ayun. Virtual OJT versus dun sa mga um, real world yung OJT nila, or face-to-face OJT, ano? Ayan ang mahirap sagutin kasi wala pa tayong research on that. Wala pang, I don't know if there are published works or studies on, comparing job preference, no? Employer preference for those who have undertaken. But basically, what I recommend, what I can recommend for you is that tingnan ninyo kung ano yung karamihan naman ng mga job openings for fresh graduates do not require any experience. So maybe that is a low hanging fruit. Yun ang unahin ninyo na na applyan, no? Yung mga wala pang job experience na re-require. Ngayon, kung may job experience na re-require, anong klase? Kung hindi nila tinatanggap yung virtual, then obviously you don't have any choice but to gain, no? To gain face-to-face work experience, or non-virtual experience. Now, you can undertake some training courses. For example, in the government, we have government internship programs. Face-to-face yan. Wala kaming online. Meron ding SPES program. I don't know if you've heard of it. Special Program for Employment of Students. Basically, it's short-term employment. No, very short employment. In TESDA, I think they also have several programs. DTS, TWSP. I don't know about the rest. No, so you can avail of these government programs. Now, yung mga certifications will also help you land jobs. Ang dami kong kilala na nagtitake sila ng mga short courses like through Coursera or through, I'm not endorsing, there are a lot of learning opportunities online which you can add to your resume. Ako ganun I don't, let me just share this secret with you. I don't wait for my employer, even the government, to train me. I look actively for trainings. If I think I need this training to advance my career, then I will take it even if I shoulder all or some of the cost. Kasi kung hihintayin mo yan, baka hindi dumating yan. So, di ba? That's one tip. No? Be proactive. No? Inahanap yan ng mga employers. Okay? So, good luck. Best of luck to all the job seekers here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May pahabol lang po for our last question from our YouTube Live. Should the company process Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, and SSS, or do we need to acquire it before applying?
Like what I've mentioned before, you need to be a member of SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, and you need to have your TIN before you seek employment. Okay? Hindi siya responsibility ng employer. Oo, kasi kahit nasaan ka man, dala mo 'yon. Hindi lang with a particular employer. May mga employers na pinagbibigyan. Follow to follow na lang yung SSS number mo, ganyan. And these employers, the same employers, get in trouble with us. So, I'm telling you now, wag niyo nang hintayin 'yon, no? Be forward-looking and be preventive in that aspect. You try to prevent such workplace issues, no? So before looking for a job, get your SSS, get your PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, and your TIN, no? So no problems on these matters na. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Jeremiah, for eagerly answering the questions from our students. At this point, we will be turning back the floor. We will be returning the floor back to Miss Grace.
Thank you, Miss Lira. And thank you, Sir Jerry, again sa walang sawang pagtangkilik sa aming mga imbitasyon
Thank
sa
you.
mga panahon na to. All right, so just allow me to read the caption of the e-certificate of recognition that we would like to give as a token of our appreciation to Mr. Jeremiah Carlos. Certificate of recognition is hereby given to Jeremiah T. Carlos for being the resource speaker in the GCCSO webinar, UE Graduates Onward to Hybrid New Normal Career Talk Webinar 2022, Career Development and Placement Program 2022, given this 18th day of April 2022, signed Maria Leonira V. Orea, PhD, RGC, Director, GCCSO. Okay, thank you very much again, Sir Jerry.
Thank
We
you very
hope
much po. Thank you.
to have you again next year and the years to come. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. All right. Now, I would like to call again Miss Anne Inverso to introduce our second speaker.
Thank you again, Ms. Grace. Our next speaker has more than 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, business development, customer service, operations, project management, business process, and human resources. Presently, he is the managing director of Jobs180.com. He is also general manager of Genius Options Learning Center and a member of the board of advisors of the Lyceum of the Philippines University, Laguna. He has been a trusted resource speaker with over 1,000 plus career development seminars in more than 400 plus colleges and universities nationwide. He graduated double degree of Bachelor of Science in Applied Economics and Commerce, major in Marketing Management at De La Salle University in Manila. To discuss about the resume link, which is dubbed as the most secured resume for online application, let us give a virtual applause to Mr. Kim Chua.
Hi everyone. Thank you for that introduction, Ma'am Ann. So magandang hapon. I hope everyone is safe. You had a restful and meaningful Holy Week bakasyon. Yan. So ako naman ngayon, allow me to share to you itong sinasabi nga nating most secure resume platform. So what I'm doing now is I'm sharing my screen. However, hindi ako makashare ng screen kasi may nakashare pa na screen. So I'll wait muna until matapos yung screen. Ayan. Okay, thank you. And as I'm doing this, tama po narinig ninyo sa introduction, ako talaga si Kim Chua. I always joke about my name kasi baka Kim Chu lang maalala nyo na mayroon talagang wa, no, ang aking pangalan, kaya Kim Chua. So, let me share my entire screen. I think this will be better if I just share my entire screen. So you get to see everything. So you can see it here. Okay, so I'm now opening my PowerPoint, and at any point in time, if you don't see my slides moving, kindly call my attention kasi this already happened before na I was presenting all the way until the middle. Tapos hindi pala gumagalaw yung slides ko. Okay? So ito na, simulan na natin to. So before I share to you itong resume link na mga details, let me play a quick video for those who are more visual sa inyo. So panoorin itong video na to. Let me close my screen. Ayan. So watch it.
There are 3 easy steps in creating a resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz.jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Oh, ayan. So I showed the video for those people who are not so patient. Gusto nyo makinig dun sa video. I hope you were able to pick up na the details of the resume link. Pero for those who wants to get the details, eto na, subaybayan nyo na. Okay, pakwento ko sa inyo yung details na to. For those who have already created their resume link, just go along with me and check kung tama ba ginawa ninyo. Okay, so ano bang pag-uusapan natin? We're going to talk about the most secure resume for online application, and this is called the resume link. Now, why am I sharing this sa inyo? I'm sharing this to all of you because right now, there's a lot of online platforms being offered. Sobrang dami, di ba? Pag nagutom ka, daming mga online apps, pwede mong pagpilian. Pag gusto mo mamili ng mga bagay-bagay, ang dami mong pwedeng pagpilian din ng mga pang-shopping apps, di ba? So, you don't have to go out there and physically do it. Ganun din pagdating sa pagharap ng trabaho. No, marami tayong mga online platforms that are readily available, and one of which is itong resume link that is being offered by jobs180.com. Now, the ultimate question that I want to share with you is, are you using the right tool? Kasi ang dami-dami nating platform, di ba? So, alin dito pa talaga yung tamang tool? Ito yung mga guidelines ko or checklist ko para masabi ko na ito yung right tool na gamitin ninyo. Okay, so go with me with this checklist, and I hope we're aligned. The first one is, do you want to stand out? Definitely, sa dami-dami ng mga kalaban ngayon, dami mga kakompetensya sa pag-a-apply, mga fresh graduate, mga may trabaho, tapos in between jobs, you definitely want to stand out the moment you start exploring for your opportunity. So, ito pong resume link helps you to do that. Okay, now I'll show you more pa in my checklist. Another thing pa in my checklist is that you don't have to have a lot of files. This tool allows you to consolidate all those information into one file para mabilis, mas efficient yung proseso. And talking about efficiency, this is also another in my checklist. Diba? Hanggat maaari, napapabilis yung proseso. Sino ba naman sa inyo gusto pa ang pinapaasa kayo? Diba? Siguro naman, diba, kayo rin hindi kayo nagpapaasa ng ibang mga tao. Diba? Ganun din naman ang mga HR. Hanggat maaari, ayaw nila magpaasa ng mga aplikante. So, sa simula pa lang, when you start to submit your information, hanggat maaari, nagkakaalaman na. Pasado, move forward. Bagsak, later on, let's consider in the future. O, di ba? Ganun lang yan. Okay? So, this tool helps you to do that as well. Okay? Another thing in my checklist is that wala tong gastos. Libre po ito. This is absolutely for free. Okay? So, itong tool na ito, wala po itong bayad. And the most important in my checklist is that your information should be secured. Yan yung pinaka sa tingin ko, ang kailangan nyo makonsider. When you use this tool, this information helps you to secure your information. And how do you do that? Let me show you na. Okay? So this is dubbed as the most secure resume platform. By definition, resume link is a personalized URL. It is a link that anyone can open online anytime. Okay, so let me use you as an example. Halimbawa lang, kung pangalan mo ay John Santos, ang resume link mo pwede maging johnsantos.jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasimple. Yan na po ang resume nyo or ang resume link niyo. Now, how do you make one? Kagaya ng video na pinakita ko, there are 3 simple steps lang to use the resume link. The first step is for you to register. This is absolutely for free. Wala itong bayad. And how do you register? You go to this link. Okay, you can either write this down, take a picture, try to memorize it kung kaya nyo. Kung hindi, mag-screenshot na lang. Okay? Go to schools with an S, no? schools.jobs180.com/UE. Huwag nyo na ako tanungin kung bakit UE. Yan ang alma mater nyo. Okay, so you go to that link and then you will see there on the upper right side portion, may nakalagay po, register. Okay, so you need to click on register and then you start to fill in the blanks. Now, if ever lang na medyo nahabaan kayo, no, medyo hindi maalala yung link na yan, you can go to our website, www.jobs180.com, and this is where you now register. But you have to choose your school, of course, University of the East, diba? Manila. That's what you do. Okay? Now, as you fill in the blanks, you start by creating your resume link. Diyan ka magsisimula eh. You have to create your resume link. Saan ba ang basihan ng resume link? Ang basihan ng resume link is your unique name. What is a unique name? Okay? Unique name, sample ng unique name, John Santos is a unique name. Kim Chua is a unique name. Jeremiah Carlos is a unique name. Christine Pasha is a unique name. 'Di ba? Yung bawat pangalan natin is a unique name. Now, if ever lang may kapangalan tayo, may katukayo tayo, halimbawa lang, ikaw si John Santos, may nauna sa inyo mag-register pangalan John Santos din. Ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon ng red na box, sasabihin niya, this name has already been taken. Huwag kayong malungkot pag taken na. Okay lang naman kung taken na. Maging creative lang tayo. No? Pwede mo balik ta rin. Pwede mo unahin mo na apelyido nyo. Pwede mo gawin Santos John, o kaya Santos J, o kaya J Santos, o kaya SJ, o kaya JS. Depende kung ano gusto mo gawin. Basta importante, wala kayong kapareho kahit may kapangalan. Okay? Napaalala ko lang din mga taga-UE. Huwag kayong OA. Pag gumawa kayo ng resume, kung mo lalagay tipong cutie pie, Barbie doll, lover boy. Okay? Huwag nyo gagawin ganung klase yung mga resume link nyo because it doesn't sound professional. Imagine going to a company. Pupunta ka, sasabihin mo mag-a-apply ka doon sa company, and what will the HR ask from you? They'll ask from you your resume. Sasabihin mo, ay meron po akong resume, ang resume link ko po ay eldiablo.jobs180.com. Di ba? Pag narinig nila El Diablo, baka matakot na sila kaagad, hindi na kanila i-entertain. O di ba? So you get what I'm saying, no? Importante, stick to your name, whatever your name is, it will sound professional. Okay? Now, when you register, you start by using your valid emails. Na pag naggamit ka ng valid email, huwag kang gagamit ng mga emails na hindi nyo nabubuksan. Okay? Kailangan gumamit ng email na nabubuksan nyo, kagaya ng Gmail, Yahoo, MSN, Rocket Mail, whatever email that is, you have to use something that you can open. And never ever use an email na halimbawa lang do not use jennifer@facebook.com na email. Do not use mark@facebook.com na email. In short, huwag mo gamitin yung @facebook.com na email to register. Kasi pag yan na ginamit mong email, yung @facebook.com na email, you will no longer be able to receive notifications being sent to you by the companies as well as jobs180.com. Importante po na receive nyo yung mga napapadala sa inyo ng mga companies. And for that to happen, you have to verify your account. That's why I told you, you have to open your email because you need to verify. Diba? You need to verify as a proof na ikaw nag-register. So go to your email, look for the verification link, click on it, you're done with the first step. Doon lang kasimple. Ang first step ay mag-register. Okay? Now, importante, reminder kailangan mag-verify. If you don't verify, you will not be able to submit your resume link sa mga companies, pati na rin po yung mga invitation na pinapadala sa inyo ng mga companies, hindi nyo ma-receive if you don't verify your account. Okay? So, once you're done with the verification, tapos ka na sa first step. Let's proceed to the second step. Okay? Second step is the most logical of all the steps. Yan ang pinaka logical. Kailangan kumpleto detalye nyo. You have to complete all your information. Sino ba naman sa inyo magsasubmit ng resume sa mga companies? Kulang-kulang detalye. Meron ba sa inyo magbibigay ng mga resume sa mga companies? Bungi-bungi information? I hope hindi. Okay, I hope hindi. Hindi nyo gagawin yan. Okay, kasi huwag nyo papahiin ng school ninyo. Buhatin ang bangko ng UE. Okay, submit nyo yung information yung dapat kumpleto. Okay, now how do you do that? You go back again to the link that I'm showing you. Okay, go to schools.jobs180.com/UE. Okay, this time you don't need to register again kasi may account ka na eh. Ang gagawin mo mag-log in. Okay, now for those who were not able to memorize this link or wasn't able to write this down, then just go to the website of jobs180.com, www.jobs180.com, and this is where you now log in. Now, as you do this, you start to put in, of course, you put in your login ID and your password. Ikaw lang may alam yan, di ba? Ikaw na may alam na password nyo. You don't share your password to anyone. Now, as you do this, you start to fill in the blanks. I don't have to go through all this information here because obviously when you see the address, you put your address, hindi yung address ng pinsan mo, unless magkasama kayo sa bahay. Okay, when you see the birthday, you put your birthday there, hindi yung birthday ng kapatid mo, unless kambal kayo, di ba? Or pwede kayo ng birthday, di ba? You put it there. You get what I'm saying? Okay, so hindi ko na to isa-isahin. Now, for those of you who are already reacting, because a lot of you right now, probably you have your resumes na. You've done your resumes sa Word format, doc file nyo or PDF file nyo, then ang good news na lang is you just have to transfer all the information. Lipat mo na lang, copy paste mo lang lahat ng mga information mo sa whatever file you have dito sa loob ng resume link. And why would you transfer your information here sa resume link? Because you want to keep those information secured. Okay, I'll tell you bakit secured as we go along. Okay, as we go along. Okay, now meanwhile, tuloy ko lang, may papaalala lang ako sa inyo mga information na dapat wag nyong kalimutan. Don't ever forget to put your contact details here. So one of the things that I always remind the audience is to put all the possible means na pwede kang makontak na sa HR. Pati mga social media account nyo, lagay mo dyan. O bakit? O tingnan nyo kung bakit. Pag tinawagan kayo ng mga whoever, sino man tumawag, pag nag-ring yung phone nyo, anong madalas ginagawa nyo? Madalas, hindi nyo sinasagot. Okay? I'm just speaking based on experience. Every time I call applicants, they don't answer. But when I text, they reply. I don't get the point, no? So, pag naka-receive ka ng tawag na hindi mo kilala, one important reminder is please answer the call, especially if you don't know the person calling you, because you never know. It might be an opportunity knocking at your door. Diba? At paano kung yung HR hindi masipag mag-text, masipag lang magtawag? Eh sayang yung opportunity. Diba? So sagutin nyo muna. At kung may tinataguan ka, tsaka mo simplehan. Okay? Magpinataguan ka na or tingin mo scam yung tumatawag, tsaka mo, alam mo na gagawin mo pag scam yan. Okay? So importante, answer that call. Now, if ever lang we try to call you and then you cannot be reached and for whatever reason, we also email you and you don't normally answer those emails more often than you answer those messages, pag pina-private message kayo, that's the reason why we recommend you put all the possible means na lagay mo yung mga contact details mo. Kagaya ng Facebook. Lagay mo dyan para makapag-PM tayo. Hi, are you available Thursday, 10 a.m., so on and so forth. You get what I'm saying? Di ba? Mas mabilis makapag-communicate. Magme-messenger na lang tayo dyan. Di ba? IM or PM na lang. Okay? So, lagay mo dyan. Okay? Another thing I want to remind you pagdating dito is to choose the work options. In the work options portion, pwede kayo mamili parang yes, no, switch lang yan. Okay, kung ano man sa tingin nyo ang gusto nyo, example lang, willing to work night shift, willing to relocate, looking for OJT, maybe some of you are still looking for OJT, diba? Willing to work overseas, then all you need to do is just say yes or no dun sa mga switch na yan. And what the system will do is it will try to match you with companies who are also looking for the same profile with what you have. Okay, now I never guarantee that you already have trabaho, no, when you do this. I never said that. I'm just saying it will make your life easier because a lot of companies now will be matched according to the profile that you have para imbitahin ka nila doon sa mga possible opportunities din. Okay, now it is up to you if you want to entertain or you don't want to entertain them. Okay? So at least, diba, marami ng opportunities. Now, pagdating sa education portion, you put your school there, whether before or after you stay in UE, you can also put it there. Walang limit sa space yan. Seminars attended, ganun din. Kahit gaano pa kahaba, pwede kayo magkopyahan. Just make sure lang, alam mo yung pinag-usapan sa seminar. Pagdating po sa certification, wala rin limit sa space. Kung mayroon kayong mga certification program, you can also put it there. Pagdating sa achievement, ang reminder ko lang dito is do not limit your achievement only inside the school. Hindi lang tayo lahat ay academically inclined. Some of us are into other activities, yung mga student activities niyo, student organization. Maybe some of you tahimik kayo sa school pero sa labas ng school sobrang bibo ninyo, 'di ba? Baka sa barangay isa kang kagawad, 'di ba? Hindi ko alam kung ano mga pinagkakabalan mo. You put it here. Because what you're doing right now is you're trying to market yourself more effectively to that prospective company. Okay? Now when it comes to skills, sure din ako kadalasan ito yung mga common nangyayari is that you only limit your skills only within your course. Hindi porkat accounting major ka, ang alam mo lang gawin mag-debit credit. 'Di ba? Hindi porkat financial major ka, ang alam mo gawin mag-analyze ng graph. Hindi porkat engineering ka, alam mo lang pang engineering stuff. You get what I'm saying? Some of you, whatever that course is, mahilig kayo sa graphic design, mahilig kayo sa multimedia, mahilig kayo sa mga arts and crafts, sa music, and anything else na walang connect sa course nyo. That's the reason why I recommend you put your skills here. Okay, lagay mo dyan lahat ng mga alam mong skills, lagay mo kahit walang connect sa course mo. Okay, when it comes to languages, don't limit din sa Tagalog lang at saka sa English. No? If you know other local dialect, Chabacano, Bisaya, Kapampangan, or foreign languages, Korean, Japanese, French, Vietnamese, anything, you put it here. Okay, because what you're doing is you're marketing yourself more effectively to the prospective company. Okay, now when it comes to references, sigurado naman ako yung mga references nyo, kilala nyo. Ang tanong, kayo ba'y kilala nila? Sana oo, di ba? Kasi pag tinatawagan namin yung mga references nyo, hindi kayo maalala. Yung worst dyan, hindi talaga kayo kilala. So please advise your references na ginawa nyo silang reference para at least they know what to tell about you. Okay? Now at this point, alam kong alam nyo na yan. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, kung meron na kayo nagawang resume, napakasimple lang gagawin nyo. Okay? You just have to transfer all the information from whatever file you have, Word file, PDF file, doc file, whatever file. Lipat mo lang dito sa loob ng resume link para maging secured yung data nyo. Okay? Kung paano maging secured, malapit na. Sasabihin ko na sa inyo as we go along. Okay? Next, some of the portion I'll show you now, ito yung mga wala sa traditional na resumes natin. Ito yung mga tinatawag kong amazing na portion. Bakit amazing? Let me show you. Ito yung portfolio section. This is the section where you now upload evidence of your skills. Now, later, we also invited another speaker to tell you more about this portfolio section. Okay, but in the meantime, let me just brush off lang a little. Anything about you, pwede mo ilagay dyan. Medical clearance nyo, government IDs, academic records, anything to support your claim about your skills, ilagay mo dito sa portfolio section ninyo. And one of the things you might be wondering right now, diba? You might be wondering right now, Sir Kim, gagraduate na po ako. Paano ba naman ako magsa-stand out kung lahat ng mga barkada ko, lahat ng mga kabatch ko, pare-pareho kami ng course, pare-pareho kami ng school, pare-pareho kami ng curriculum, pare-pareho kami ng teachers, pare-pareho din kami ng mga OJT na pinasukan. Just in case lang, no? Pare-pareho kayo nga, magkakasama kayo eh. So how will I stand out? That might be a question that you're thinking of right now. How can I stand out? So ito yung isang recommendation ko na gawin nyo. Get your smartphone and record a selfie video. Yes, you heard me right. Record a selfie video. Okay, hindi naman mahirap turuan maggawa ng selfie video, di ba? Nagti-TikTok nga kayo eh. So, ang gagawin mo lang ngayon, just pretend that you're being interviewed by the HR. Answer basic questions like, why should we hire you? O kaya, tell me something about yourself. Di ba? Record mo. Pag hindi mo type, i-delete mo. Ganun lang kasimple. Pag type mo, save mo na yung video, tapos upload mo siya sa mga video channel. Whatever video channel or video converter na meron. No? Alam nyo, Vimeo, YouTube, you can do that. Okay, now, let me play this short video para may idea kayo on how to create your selfie video. Okay, watch this.
Good day. I'm Kathleen Anes Pangilinan, 19 years old from Pasig City, and currently taking BSIT with specialization in web and mobile application at FEU Institute of Technology. You should hire me so I can obtain an entry-level position in the field of information technology, where I can utilize my knowledge and skills in the field that I am in. I am passionate, hardworking, and most of all, optimistic. To know more about me, you can visit my resume link, kathleenanpangilinan.jobs180.com. Thank you.
Kita nyo na? Napakasimple lang, di ba? It's very short. Wala pang 1 minute. That's only 36 seconds to be exact. Pero it's super efficient. Bakit super efficient? Hindi na kailangan mag-antayan pa. Tatawag pa yung HR. Minsan busy pa yung signal nyo. Minsan maingay yung background. Minsan hindi available yung schedule nyo. This time, they can already determine or evaluate your communication skills. Now, I never said you create an English video. So, for those who are wondering, sir, kailangan ko ba magsalita ng straight English? Hindi ko naman sinabi. Pero kung kaya mo, I recommend and I encourage you to speak in straight English because most of the companies who will be calling you, they'll be evaluating your communication skills. Diba? Yung English communication nyo. Pero I never said it's an English video. Now, aside from those videos na pwede mo gawin, yung answering basic questions, you can also showcase your hard skills. Ano yung mga hard skills? May mga nakita ko dyan, how to use a soldering iron, how to properly handle a welding machine, diba? How to do skirting sa mga lamesa, diba? Or how to fold table napkins. You get what I'm saying, di ba? So, ano man yung alam mo, pakita mo dyan. Di ba? Whatever that skill is, you can showcase it by creating a selfie video. Okay? So, kayo na bahala kung anong gagawin nyo. Now, another thing that I'm sure na hindi ko kopyahin ng classmate mo ay yung profile picture mo. Okay? Ikaw rin, hindi mo rin kokopyahin sa classmate mo sigurado. So, ano gagawin mo ngayon? You put your profile picture there, basta importante lang, plain background, and look at the camera. Okay? Yan ang importante. Of course, magbihis naman kayo ng medyo decente, no? Pang apply ng corporate job. Okay? Now, do not upload pictures that look like the right side of your screen. Yung ganyang klase mga sample, it doesn't look professional. Okay? So, kita nyo naman, di ba? So, huwag nyo nagagayahin yan. I only showed you the good and not so good examples. Okay? Now, another good thing pa with the resume link is that meron tayong tinatawag na cover photo. Di ba may kasabihan? A picture paints 1,000 words. So, pasintabi lang sa matatamaan. Yung mga hindi gifted with writing skills, hirap na hirap talaga tayo ma-express, diba, sa sarili natin. Hindi mo maisulat, hindi mo siya may type. Diba? Yung gusto mo sabihin eh. Kasi hindi siya natural. Pero pagdating sa pag-post ng mga pictures, paglagay ng mga images, kayang-kaya mo express yung personality mo. And that's one of the things that you can do with the resume link. You can upload your cover photo to showcase your personality. Now look at the example here. The one on the left, ano kaya siya? Sabi ni iba, ophthalmologist. Sabi ni iba, eye expert. O, di ba? Sabi ng ibang pilosopo, sir, baka siya yung pasyente. O, di ba? Depende kung malabo na raw mata niya. Depende kung paano ka maglalagay niyan. Okay, the one on the right, ano kaya siya? Sabi ng iba, sir, siguro someone from administration, office admin, or maybe this is someone who is techie kasi ang dami niyang gadget, pati stapler gadget, na paperclip gadget. So, hindi ko alam. So, again, it really depends on how you're going to showcase your personality. Another good example is this one. This is someone from psychology, di ba? Or someone from neurology. Okay, neurologist. Or ito pa isa magandang example din. Hindi ito miyembro na Akit Bahay Gang. Okay, this person wanted to say that there is no shortcut to success. You'll be able to reach your goal by taking one step at a time. Yan ang gusto niya sabihin. O, di ba? So, I showed you these examples so that you'll be guided. No? Meron kayong guideline you can draw inspiration from. And if I show you good examples, I also show you not so good examples. Ito yung wag niyong gagayahin. Huwag ka magpapaka-misteryoso. Okay? Lagay mo dyan yung picture nyo. Make sure hindi pugot yung ulo nyo. Okay, marami kasi ngayon yung mga pangalan interchangeable. Ako mismo guilty ako dyan. My name is Kim. A lot of people think babae ako. I encountered resume links, yung mga pangalan nila. Joey, nakalagay Chris, nakalagay Alex, Nick, Sam. Diba? Sometimes I would really assume lalaki yun. Yung pala, babae. Diba? That's why I recommend and I remind everyone who's listening, please make sure you put your cover photo para alam ng HR who to expect. Okay? Now, never upload your cover photo na blanco. Okay? Naglagay ka nga blanco naman or you just skip this part because it will not catch the HR's attention. Paalala ko lang, kahit sobrang galing ng information mo, ng credentials mo, if you're not able to catch the HR's attention, wala rin. 'Di ba? Parang panliligaw lang 'yan. Kahit sobrang ganda ng intention mo, 'di ba? Lahat ng kaugalian, perfect ka na, close to being perfect. Pag hindi naman 'yan napansin nung nililigawan mo, ganun din. Hindi ka rin papansinin, 'di ba? Same thing, vice versa. You get what I'm saying? Okay, lalaki man babae. Okay? Next, if you want to catch attention, never ever do something like this. This is just my opinion. Opinion ko lang 'to ha. Sa tingin ko, hindi maganda 'tong example na 'to because ang dating parang tamad. Ang dating niya parang happy-go-lucky. Parang chill-chill lang. Walang pakialam sa buhay. No? Yan yung aking interpretation. So, I'm showing you good and not so good examples so you'll be guided. Okay? Now, let's examine a very good example. Si iExpert. Tingnan mo. Kompleto lahat ng detalye niya. Everything that an HR would need to know about the applicant is already here. And what the applicant did is she uploaded all the things to support her claim. Again, abangan nyo mamaya, meron tayong isang speaker in invite to discuss about the portfolio portion and how to take advantage of it. And you can use that using this resume link. O, di ba? Ayan. At this point, you're now thinking, alam ko matatalino yung mga taga-UE, ito na iniisip nyo, advance kayo mag-isip eh. Sir, pag nilagay ko ba lahat na information ko dyan sa resume link, yung mga details ko ba nakalantad na sa buong mundo? Baka naman yung mga information ko nakakalat na sa buong internet. The answer is no. Kaya nga ito tinawag na the most secured resume platform. Diba? So ba't siya tinawag na the most secured resume platform? Because you control your privacy settings 100%. Ikaw ang may control. Ikaw bilang user or account owner, ikaw may 100% control ng information mo on what to show or hide in public. Now follow the screen I'm showing you. In your settings, in your dashboard, there's a settings tab. Click on it. Once you click on it, you see the privacy settings. Now from the privacy settings, piliin mo yung mga information that you want to show or hide in public. Halimbawa lang, you don't want to show your birthday. What do? You turn it off. You don't want to show your address. What do? You turn it off. You don't want to show your references. What do? You turn it off. Diba? So lahat na naka-off, hindi lalabas sa public. At ang maganda rito, real-time update yan. Pag sinabing real-time, halimbawa lang, 5 minutes later, you decide to show your address. What do? Turn it on. Save your profile. Lahat ng may alam ng resume link mo will be able to see your address. Diba? If 2 days later you want to show your birthday, baka sakali lang batiin ka ng HR, diba? Baka magka-birthday kayo. Diba? Ano gagawin mo? Turn on mo yung birthday mo and then save your profile. What happens next? Lahat na may resume link mo will already see your birthday. You get what I'm saying? So dagdag bawas yan, no? Kung ano mo gusto mo ipakita, gusto mo tanggalin, real-time update. Okay? 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 Ayos? O sige, reminder na lang ha, sa mga late na dumating or catch up na lang kayo, tapos na kami sa 2 steps, papunta na kami sa last step. Okay? So first step is for you to register. This is absolutely for free, wala tong bayad. Second step is the most logical of all the steps. You have to complete all the information, and in doing so, please make sure that your profile is interesting and attractive for employers. Kasi pag na-catch mo attention nila, ang next thing na mangyari, they will now look into your details. So dapat kumpleto details nyo. At hindi lang kumpleto, dapat updated din. Okay? Para makontak nila kayo kaagad. Lalo na yung contact details nyo. It has to be updated. Okay? Now let's go to the last step. The last step is for you to submit. Yan, di ba? So meron ka ng resume link. Ready ka na sumabak sa iba-ibang paraan sa pag-apply. And I think this coming Friday, you will be having your virtual career fair. So you're now thinking, if I go to face-to-face later on, if I go to virtual job fair, how will I be able to use my resume link? Kwento ko na sa inyo, iba-ibang paraan. At lahat ito, makaka-relate kayo. Una sa lahat, magbigay-pugay muna tayo sa ating alma mater. Pumunta ka muna sa UE Career Portal. So you go to schools with an S, .jobs180.com/UE. Okay. Now, when you go to this page, by the way, this is the last time I'm showing this in my presentation. So you either write this down, take a picture, try to memorize it, or take a screenshot. Okay. Para tapos na. Kasi later on, I won't be showing this anymore. So go to this link. And then from this link, you can explore for companies. You can scroll and you can explore for companies there. Okay. Most of the industry partners of UE, you can also find them there. Okay. So andyan yan. Now, kung nabiti ka sa page na yan, ano pwede mo gawin? Pumunta ka sa website ni Jobs 180. Punta ka sa www.jobs180.com. And this is where you now look for companies. Now, paalala ko lang sa mga nakikinig din, isa pang emphasis dito sa ating resume link, hindi siya searchable. Okay? Hindi siya searchable. When you go to Jobs 180 website, you will see there a search bar. The search bar will only search for 3 things lang. It will search for position title, company name, or location. Okay? And location. I mean, 3 lang. So halimbawa lang, ikaw wala akong maisip na pangalan, George. Shout out to George. If there's a George out there, shout out to you. Sample lang. If you type George in social media accounts like Facebook, perhaps you'll end up with a few thousand or a few 100,000 George. If you type George in Jobs 180, nothing comes out. Okay? Why? Unless may company name, position title, or location na may George. Pero kung wala, it won't come out. Okay? Kasi hindi siya searchable. So the only time a company or an HR will be able to know your information is if and when they know your exact link. Kanino magagaling yung link? Sa inyo. Hindi sa akin. Sa inyo magagaling yan. Okay? Hindi sa school. Sa inyo magagaling. Okay? Ayos? O, tuloy pa natin. So when you're going to search for companies, ano mangyari? Try mo i-search yung companies. Pag may lumabas, edi meron. Pag walang lumabas, edi wala. Diba? Huwag mo pilitin lumabas yung something na wala. Diba? Pag wala sila sa Jobs 180, baka wala pa sila for now. Okay? Meanwhile, when you search for companies, example, nakita mo si Optum, gusto mo mag-apply sa Optum, ano pwede mo gawin? Ang daming paraan na pwede mag-apply. First, you can just click directly on the position that is being displayed there. So when you see Optum, just click on the apply. Pwede ganon. Or submit resume link. Ganun kabilis. You just put your login ID and password. Ikaw lang may alam. And submit. Papasok na information mo doon kay Optum. Diba? Ganun kabilis. Yes. Diba? Next, another option. A lot of you, you would like to use the email as a platform. Tama? And you have been using email ever since. No, muna natuto tayo mag-communicate sa ating computer, we're already using email. So, marami sa atin, we're using email to send our resumes. Now, there's nothing wrong in sending your resumes through email. I just want to check lang if you're doing it correctly. Paano kayo mag-send ng email? Ganito ba? Dear HR Manager, sample lang mag-email kayo sa Optum. Dear HR Manager of Optum, I'd like to apply to you the following position, and this is my resume. What do you do next? Do you attach your resume file? Do you attach your Word file, PDF file, doc file, whatever file? If that is how you're doing it, ang tawag dyan, traditional, pampabagal, makaluma. Hindi ko sinabing mali. Ang sabi ko lang, traditional, pampabagal, makaluma. You don't need to attach anything. Look at the example I'm showing you. Write the same email. Dear HR Manager of Optum, sample lang, okay? I'd like to apply for the following position, and this is my resume. Just type in your resume link. Example, antoniojuandalacruz.jobs180.com. I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you. Send. Tapos na. Wala nang mga attach every time meron kang babaguhin. Paano kung nagpalit ka ng phone number? Let's just say you change your number. Ano gagawin mo? Using it traditionally, you have to update the HR. Malamang, kasi kung hindi ka na makakontakt, di ba? Ano gagawin mo? Mag-email ka ulit, Dear HR Manager of Optum, I am now sending you my updated resume. Di ba? Ganun gagawin nyo. Paano kung nagkaroon ka ng award, nagkaroon ka ng achievement, nagkaroon ka ng mga ibang development sa career mo, gusto mo talaga maging part ng company na yon. Ano gagawin mo? Mag-send ka ulit ng resume mo sa Optum. Ano gagawin mo? Dear HR Manager of Optum, I'm sending you my updated, most recent resume. Ganun ba? Tapos i-attach mo na naman yung panibago mong document. I hope you don't do that anymore. Huwag mo na pagurin sarili mo, huwag mo na rin pagurin kung sino mo yung papadalan mo. I'm speaking as an HR. It's so difficult to keep track. Alin yung pinaka-updated na resume format or resume file ng mga aplikante. Unlike your resume link, you don't change your resume link. Whatever is being changed in your resume link is inside the link. Diba? So kung meron kang changes, meron kang gusto i-update, dagdag bawas, lahat yon i-update mo sa loob ng resume link mo. But the link stays the same. O, diba? Ayos. O, maginhawa sa buhay. Diba? You agree now. O, sige, let's continue. Okay? Another thing that you can do, in case you really want to have a printed copy, is you can print your resume link. And that's the good news for everyone who wants to have a printed copy. Later on, just in case meron na tayong face-to-face application ulit or interview, you can print your resume link. Mamimili ka lang kung 1 column or 2-column version. Either way, the system will try to compress everything into 1 page. So maginhawa sa buhay, di ba? You don't have to keep on spending na hindi ka kailangan gumawa ng 2-3 pages for 1 set of resume lang. All you need to do is just print your resume link, pili ka lang kung 1 column or 2-column version, it will come out with 1 page lang. O, di ba? Ayos. Okay. Now, for those who wants to have a printed copy, at the same time, secured yung data mo, ito yung gawin mo. Gumawa ka ng resume link card. Resume link card, in the lingo of people who are working, we call this business card. So para simple explanation ko. Okay, for those who are still not working, you just create a resume link card. So kayo bahala mag-design, no? Maggamit ng creative juices nyo. You can design your own resume link card. In one small bond paper or long bond paper, you can make multiple sets of resume link card. 10, 20 sets of card. Kayo bahala kung gaano kalaki or kaliit yung mga cards nyo. Okay? Now, anong laman ng resume link card? Ideally, ang lagay mo lang dyan, pangalan mo, tsaka resume link mo. That's it. Why? Why? O, tingnan mo ha. If you use the traditional resume, I'm going to compare it side by side. Apple to apple yan. Kung gumamit ka ng short bond paper or long bond paper at print mo yung Word file mo or PDF file mo, when you submit that to a company, for whatever reason, nilipad ng hangin. Hindi mo kasalanan yon, hindi ko rin kasalanan yon, kasalanan to ng hangin. Okay? Nilipad. Now, may nakapulot. Whoever gets hold of that long bond or short bond paper mo ng resume mo already knows your entire information. Tama? You can't deny it because you know for a fact, tama sinasabi ko. Diba? Kung may nakapulot, alam niya buong detalye mo kasi lahat ng details mo nandun nakaprint na eh. Now, when you use your resume link card, small card, binigay mo sa HR, okay, hard copy pa rin naman yun, di ba? Hard copy, nga lang mas maliit, no? Hard copy. Nilipad ng hangin, again, kasalanan ng hangin, nilipad siya, may nakapulot, you have peace of mind. Bakit may peace of mind? Because you control the privacy settings of your information. Kung sakali lang may na-curious, nakapulot, ano itong resume link, tinype niya sa browser, yung information na lumalabas, controlled ng privacy setting mo. Diba? That's why I always emphasize there are 2 major benefits when you use the resume link card. Una sa lahat, tipid. Obviously, you don't need to spend a lot of printout. Iba, isang long band or short band paper lang, cut them with the size of, I don't know how many gusto mo igupit, then tipid ka na. Pangalawa, secured. Dahil nga dun sa privacy settings mo. Okay? Ayos? O, tuloy pa natin. Okay, tuloy pa natin. Now, for those who have gadget, I recommend you use the gadget. Use the technology to your advantage. Nowadays, napansin ko, I say 90-95% of the time, applicants are already using online platform na. Hindi na nagsasubmit ng mga hard copies. I don't know pag bumalik tayo sa face-to-face. Pero if ever lang bumalik tayo sa face-to-face, you can still use naman yung resume link mo kahit na wala kang gadget. Kasi mga iba sa inyo nag-iisip, Sir Kim, gagawin kitang dahilan, sir, para magpaalam sa parents ko. Sasabihin ko, kailangan ko ng latest gadget. Oh, I never said that. Okay? What I'm saying lang is, kung meron kang technology, kung meron kang gadget, use the technology to your advantage. Okay? Manghiram ka muna, gawa ka ng resume link, and once you have a resume link, just with a pen and paper or pencil, okay? Pwede mo na yan ibigay sa mga companies. Write it down on the registration form. You can write it on whatever paper, cut them, then give it to the companies. Okay? Parang contact tracing lang yan. Hindi mo kailangan sulat lahat ng information sa reg form. Hindi mo kailangan name, email, phone number, address, course, gender, height, weight, postal code. Dami-dami sinusulat, di ba? This time, lagay mo lang doon name, resume link. Bigay mo sa company. And I'm sure those companies can see your information. Bakit? They have internet connection. Okay, sa panahon ngayon, siguro naman yung mga kumpanya ina-apply natin, lahat may internet connection na, di ba? At kung sakaling wala pa sila internet, siguro ayaw mo na mag-apply doon sa company na yun. Okay, sa tingin ko lang. Okay? So, just to recap na, checklist ko, these are my checklists, why I am saying that this is the right tool for you when it comes to online application, because of the following. Number 1, you control your privacy settings. 100% real-time update pa. Di ba? Ikaw may control niyan. Okay? Second, speed of hire becomes faster. Whatever information you need to submit to the company, whatever the company needs from you, you can instantly upload it there and then save the profile, alam na ng HR yan. Diba? Dagdag bawas, ikaw ang bahala kung ano gusto mo idagdag or ibawas sa information mo. Flexible in the sense that if you really need to have a printed copy, then at any time you can print it out. Diba? You don't need to worry about saving your file or updating your file sa USB mo or sa hard drive mo, sa cellphone mo. Wala lang ganon. Cloud-based na po yan. Okay? And cost efficient because wala itong gastos. At kung sakaling may pilosopo pa rin sa inyo nag-iisip, Sir Kim, may gastos po ito kasi kailangan ko ng pang-data. I agree with you. Okay? Kailangan mo ng internet connection. Pero you can also be resourceful. Okay, pwede naman maging resourceful, no? Mag-connect tayo sa libreng wifi, libreng internet, kapitbahay nyo, kung sakali meron, makikonnect ka muna. Later on, pag may trabaho na, bayaran mo internet niya. O, di ba? Ganun lang yan. Okay, so give and take. Now, there are a lot of benefits to using this resume link. As I've mentioned earlier, you don't need to worry about saving it sa USB or hard drive and never ever use those USBs sa mga public computers. Maraming mga software right now, pag sinaksak mo sa mga public computers, sa mga terminal, they can capture all the information inside your USB. So I don't recommend that you use it. Okay? Now, in terms of sharing it sa mga other platform, you can use whatever platform. You want to share it sa Messenger nyo, sa Viber, sa text, sa email, ikaw bahala. Ikaw may control sino bibigyan mo ng resume link mo. Okay? At pagdating sa compatibility, lahat compatible. Yan, pwede. Whatever platform, whatever software pala. I mean, whether you're using Android or iOS, pwede po yan. Okay? So shout out na lang ako sa lahat ng school partners natin right now. By the grace of God, meron na po kami more than 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide, including your alma mater. Okay? And thank you for the organizers to this event. Sila Ma'am Ann, Ma'am Nila, Ma'am Grace, lahat po no, na bumubuo ng programa na ito. Salamat po for allowing us to be able to educate your students about this tool. And it doesn't stop here. For those who are listening, you can share this to your friends, to your relatives, okay, that you think would make good use of this tool. Wala po itong bayad and be a blessing to others. Okay? So, just so we close lang this topic, I have some frequently asked questions na kadalasan tinatanong to ng mga estudyante. So sagutin ko na. Okay? Baka ito yung mga tanong nyo. Sagutin ko na. The first question is, can I give my resume link to companies who don't know about jobs180.com? The answer is absolutely yes. Okay? Basta alam nila eksaktong link mo, sa iyo manggagaling yung link, then they're able to check na your information. Depende sa privacy settings mo. Okay? Second question, is jobs180.com the same as other job site? Ibang platform like LinkedIn, JobStreet, or any other job platform? The answer is no. May dalawang pagkakaiba. There are two major differences. Okay? May dalawang pagkakaiba. And let me do a shout out lang to JobStreet para gamitin ko sa as an example lang. Okay? If you're using JobStreet, example lang if you're using JobStreet, you can only use JobStreet resume to apply to companies who are also using JobStreet. If the company you're applying to is not using JobStreet, you cannot use your JobStreet resume anymore. With your Jobs 180 resume link, you can use that to any type of platform. Kahit nasa Pilipinas or wala sa Pilipinas, sa ibang bansa, pwede mo yan ibigay. Basta may internet connection at alam nila eksaktong link mo. Sa'yo magagaling yung link. Okay? That's the first difference. The second difference is, kung nabigay mo na ang JobStreet resume mo sa isang company, touch move na yon. When I say touch move, at least within 30-day period, you cannot change anything. All the information is there kung ano man yung sinubmit mo for the next 30 days. With your resume link, pwede mo to palit-palitin anytime, real time. Okay? You can control your updating anytime, real time. Okay? Third question, can I keep my information secured? I hope by this time, na-convince ko na kayo na ito na ang pinaka-secured na resume platform, okay, for your online application. And number 4 question is I would say number 4 is the most important question. How often should you update your resume link? Kano ba dapat kadalas ina-update ang resume link? Ang sagot dyan, every time na meron kayong babaguhin. Every time. Lalo na yung contact details nyo. That's the most important. Okay? Kasi kahit anong daming improvement mo, ang dami mong award, ang dami mong development sa career mo, pag hindi ka makontak ng HR, wala rin. Wala rin kwenta, di ba? Sayang din. So, kailangan makontak ka nila, ma-reach out ka nila. Okay? And the last question is just a trivia. Trivia lang to, trivia. Palaisipan. Bakit siya tinawag na jobs180.com? The reason is because we want to turn your life around 180 degrees. It's not 360 because you don't want to go back where you started. Okay? Pag 360, you only keep on going in circle. Diba? Ikot ka lang na ikot eh. So you'll never go to the direction that you're going to. Pag 180 degrees yan, straight line yan. Okay? Hindi ko inimbento ang mathematics. Okay? At wala tong connect sa feng shui. Pero I'm saying lang, 180 degrees is a straight line towards your career goal. Okay? Just in case may tanong kayo, nahiya magtanong, hindi natin mga-cover examples sa open forum, feel free to email us or email here sa info@jobsonit.com, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Twitter, pati rin po sa TikTok. Balita ko sa marketing namin, may TikTok na rin daw kami. But anyways, I don't really know kung anong content doon. I'm just saying lang, you can check us out and send your information kung may tanong pa kayo. Okay? Again, my name is Kim Chu. Wa, don't forget yung wa. Isang magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Kim. Again, taon-taon, no, magkakasama tayo, and it's so nice to even if we are in online platform, no, we can still do this. All right. So let me call in Miss Lira for the open forum. Miss Lira.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Grace. And once again, to Sir Kim Chu for sharing the tips on how the students can create their online resume. So in relation to that very relevant topic, these are some of the most common questions sent by our graduating students for you. So the first question po, in your expert opinion, what are the skills that students who graduated through flexible learning mode or online class can highlight in their resume to be competitive in the labor market? And then a follow-up question to that, how can we maximize the credentials we have as a student if we somehow lack experience due to the online learning setup?
Okay. Sige, if I'm getting the question correctly, kung sakali lang that you feel you still lack the skills to be able to compensate, 'di ba, for the requirements ng labor force, example later on once you start working or once you start to apply for companies, you can augment that by yung mga ni-recommend ni Sir Jerry kanina. Hindi yung napakinggan nyo, no? There's a lot of online courses, no, na hindi naman niya sinosolicit na rin. Ako rin, hindi ko rin naman din ini-endorse. I mean, no, hindi pala solicit. Hindi ko naman ini-endorse. But there are a lot of online courses that you can explore. Do not feel that because this happened to us, na-restrict na yung learning natin. Yung iba nga, the way they look at this is, di ba, parang half yung glass, either you look at it as half empty or half filled. No, yung iba, they look at this as an opportunity because you're able to do a lot of things. You don't have to travel. You still have the same X amount of time sa classes nyo. Di ba? You still learn from school in terms of academics. Di ba? Pero marami ka pang pwedeng magawa right now aside from mag-TikTok at mag-MOL or kung ano pang ginagawa natin, di ba? Sa ibang mga sa computer, sa phone natin, di ba? So these are the things that you can maximize. Now, yun lang sa akin. Don't ever feel na we're lacking, no? Unless you're not doing anything. Yun lang yun. So that I hope nasagot ko yung answer. At naintindihan ko yung question. That's how I'm able to understand the question, no? To be more competitive.
Yes. Thank you very much po. For the second question, can we still take a risk in applying for a job once we graduate when one of the requirements is experience? If so, what can we highlight in our resume instead?
I think yung nagtanong nito, ang concern niya is kulang sa experience, tama? Kasi the company normally will be asking for experience. Okay, here's the thing, no? You just keep on trying. Some companies would put there as they require X number of years for experience, mainly because yun yung period of time na nahasa yung hard skill na yun, lalo na kung hard skill yung kailangan. If these are transferable skills that you can learn from, say, in your school, tapos you learn from one company to the other, then perhaps pwede mo yan ano ba yung gusto niyo tanong ulit? Okay, kung mag-a-apply pa rin ba, how to highlight, di ba? Yun yung question niya, parang how to highlight. Okay.
Yes,
so
sir.
What you can do there is you can say na given na ganun yung scenario, di ba, with limited movement, mobility, di ba? You're able to learn pa rin despite the condition or in spite of all these challenges that we have right now. Lagay mo pa rin doon yung mga things na natutunan mo. Again, it will go back to you kung meron ka nga ba talagang ginagawa. Kasi kung wala ka naman din ginawa, wala tayong susulat. Diba? I always remind applicants, wag tayong magbulahan pagdating sa interview, no? Kasi kung nagbubulahan lang tayo, pinapatagalan natin yung proseso. Marireject at marireject din naman, wag mo nang patagalin din. Ikaw rin naman mismo, ayaw mo rin tumagal, di ba? Ako rin as an applicant, when I apply to a company, when the company asks me a question that I feel na mag-end up lang akong mangbobola ako, I just tell the applicant, I just tell the HR, with all due respect, ma'am, I wasn't able to research on that aspect, or I wasn't able to learn that portion. So if that is something that is required for me to get this job or to land this job, then I will gladly accept your decision to cut me off, 'di ba? Kasi nga ako nagkulang eh. 'Di ba? Yun yung sa akin. Okay? So how to highlight, basta lahat ng mga tingin mo appropriate or pasok doon sa skills that they're looking for, put it there. 'Di ba? If yun yung kailangan mo i-highlight, no, relevant doon. I know I mentioned earlier that you have to put all the skills. Now, even if plantito ka, even if mahilig ka sa arts and crafts, hindi naman yan yung mga skills na hinahanap ng company, then you wouldn't be able to position it. Diba? You can say this, you know, you learn a thing or two, but hindi naman siya applicable dun sa trabahong kailangan mong pasukan. Diba? So, yun yung kailangan mo i-highlight doon. Kung ano yung what they're looking for. Yan.
Thank you very much, sir. I think parang that also answers the next question po, no? Another question po kasi is, what do recruiters usually look for in the resume of fresh graduate applicants to pass the screening process?
What do recruiters usually look for? I cannot speak for all HR because may kanya-kanyang HR, may kanya-kanyang style of screening. Ako, the first thing I look at is the skills. Yun lang. Yun ang una ko titingnan. Regardless of the school, regardless of the location, lalo na ngayon kasi virtual lang setting, and our company, virtual lang setting. So, location doesn't really play a big role. Pero importante dito yung skills. Yung match, dapat yung skills. So, even if I'll give an example, we're able to hire a graphic designer even if that person lives in Laguna. O ganon. Diba? So, it doesn't really matter. Diba? Basta nandun yung nandun yung skill sets niya. So, yan sa akin.
All right, thank you very much, sir. For the last question po from our YouTube live, can we also upload video presentation files using Jobs 180? I believe aside po siguro, sir, no, from yung parang sample video presentation po that you mentioned a while ago. And possible daw po ba?
You can upload anything under the sun. Anything. Gusto mo nag-abacus ka, 'di ba? Kahit wala nakintindi kung paano gumamit ng abacus, pakita mo, 'di ba? Kung paano ka mag-balance sheet on a fast forward version, you can do that. I was able to watch some of the creative works ng mga ibang students. There was one, walang connect sa trabaho. As in gumawa lang siya ng skit, parang how to keep myself busy. Pinagtagpi-tagpi niya yung mga video na fast forward niya. Naglabas siya sa bahay, nagluto siya, nagsampay siya, tapos nag-aaral siya online class, tapos nagpe-prayer, may prayer mode siya. Imagine, 'di ba? All those videos in I think press in 40, 50 seconds. That was a very creative video. Anong course niya? Chemistry. Walang connect, 'di ba? Pero ba't ko nasabi it was something that's catchy, and well, to cut the story short, we got that person we consider that person to be part of our team because nag-effort siya ipakita na hindi siya nakatunga nga lang sa bahay, alam mo yun, from 8 to 5 and just do the class and not do anything, 'di ba? Parang how to keep yourself busy, ganun. May exercise mode pa siya, ang dami niyang pinagagawa dun sa video, pero sobrang ang galing lang, sobrang bilis lang. It was very creative. I think yun lang yung point doon, no? So kahit walang connect sa course, sabi ko nga, you're able to highlight your personality and your skills. And nagkataon lang, something that we're looking for would be someone who can do those editing and so parang hindi mo nakatanungin, do you know how to edit? Because when you watch it, obviously gets mo na paano niya ginawa. Do you know how to tell a story na yung 24-hour story mo, lagay mo sa 1 minute? Nagawa rin niya eh, 'di ba? So yun yung parang action speaks louder than words. So, yun lang gusto ko sabihin. So kahit mahaba pa sulatin niya, hindi mo na kailangang basahin. You just watch that 1-minute video, you're able to find the connection with that applicant. Okay? So I encourage everyone who's out there, go create your videos. Kung kayo ay mas mahilig mag-video, kung mahilig kayo mag-compose, then do your composition, 'di ba? And stick to your goal, stick to your objective. Okay? Yan.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sir Kim, for enthusiastically answering the questions sent in by our graduating students. That's all the time we have for this portion, and we shall now give the floor back to Miss Grace.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Lyra. And now I'd like to also read the caption of the e-certificate. This is a token of our appreciation uh, for this certificate of recognition is hereby given to Kim Chua for being the resource speaker in the GCCSO webinar UE graduates onward to hybrid new normal career talk webinar 2022 of our career development and placement program 2022 given this 18th day of April 2022, signed Maria Leonila V. Orea PhD RGC Director GCCSO. So sir, thank you very much, Sir Kim.
Maraming salamat po ulit. Thank you po. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Ingat, ingat. Safe. Be safe.
All right. And now we are almost done, pero not yet. No, wait, there's more. Okay, so let me call again Miss Anne Joycel in Verso to introduce our third and last speaker.
Thank you again, Miss Grace. Our last but definitely not the least speaker is a graduate of De La Salle University, Manila, where she finished her course of International Studies, major in European Studies. She then started her first job in Citigroup Business Process Solutions back in 2010 as a sourcing associate. Today, she is currently employed for about 10 years with Optum Global Solutions as recruitment manager who handles specifically the campus and graduates program. To tell you more on how to create your career portfolio, let us give a warm welcome to Ms. Christine Reese Pasha.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. All right. So thank you again for having me this afternoon. I will be speaking to you regarding your career portfolio. So if you can just let me know if you can see my screen so we can already start the presentation. All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. All right. So again, good afternoon, everyone. I am Christine Therese Pasha, and I am part of Optum Global Solutions Philippines as a recruitment manager under the Campus and Graduates program. For this afternoon, I will be speaking to you all regarding creating your career portfolio. So what we do in Optum, though, is we have a way of introducing ourselves so that you can get to know us even better, the speakers at least. So again, I'm Christine Pasha. A lot of people would say I'm a very positive person. So that's why I've coined the hashtag positive Pasha, because it's always good to look at the positive things in life. When you're stressed, when you're tired, when you're angry, you just, want to still be positive. And so I coined the term positive Pasha, so you can always look at the positive things in life. I am also part of a family of 5, and my youngest sister has Down syndrome. So when she was born, my parents decided to look for other parents with children with Down syndrome, and they formed the Down Syndrome Association of the Philippines, and which help parents with children with Down syndrome understand what they're going, the children with Down syndrome, and also it's more of a support group with that. I've also been together with my husband for almost 14 years already. So the people who don't believe in forever, meron talagang forever. You just have to find the right one, I believe. I also love playing basketball. I've been playing basketball since I was in grade 4. So I do enjoy playing and watching the sport. And lastly, I really love Broadways and being on stage. So I like listening to musicals and also being part of theater plays. So that's a bit of who I am. And now I'd like to introduce the company that I've been working for going to be my 10th year this year, which is Optum Global Solutions Philippines. So we are the number one healthcare company in the United States under the umbrella of United Health Group. We rank Fortune 5 out of the Fortune 500 companies, and we are approximately over 200,000 employees worldwide. And locally in the Philippines, we are already over 19,000 employees. And we touch nearly every aspect of the healthcare financing systems. So locally, you can compare us to companies such as, let's say, health insurance companies like MaxiCare or IntelliCare, but definitely we are much more bigger and much more global. Our mission and values in Optum would be our mission is to help people live healthier lives and to help make the health system work better for everyone. And being with the organization for already almost 10 years, I can really say that each employee that we do hire in our company really has these set of values and characteristics that can promote the mission of the company. And with the values of integrity, compassion, relationships, innovation, and performance, we are able to really have the company as successful as we are today. Now, it's not just also about work in the organization, but we make sure that our employees also have engagement activities. So as you can see, the three pictures below, we do have engagement activities such as celebrating Sinulog. In the middle photo, we've celebrated also Women's Month back in March of 2019. And we also have celebrated Pride Month in June of 2019, where we were able to highlight our employees who are part of the LGBTQ community. So instead of just really focusing on work, we also would like to, of course, have our employees engaged, and we also know how to have fun. Now, where are we located in the Philippines? We have 4 major sites. Our first site would be located in Taguig City in Science Hub. So we do have one tower there, which is Science Hub 3. We also have our second location is in Cebu, which is in the IT Park. So we do have 2 buildings there. Our third site would be in Quezon City in UP Techno Hub. And our fourth site would be in Alabang in Northgate Cyber Zone. So we are looking into expanding into more locations. But because of the pandemic, there was a bit of a pause. But because we are already on alert level 1, hopefully we can start really extending our locations in the Philippines. Now, what we do offer and also our career areas would be mainly on technology, customer service, our clinical business, and shared services. So under technology, we do have opportunities under analytics, automation, information security, data science, and data analytics. What we are also more focused on here at Optum would be our customer service and clinical businesses. For customer service, this is not your typical customer service roles where you do order taking or you troubleshoot a laptop or helping the client, but mainly we do cater into medium to high complex customer service roles where you will be speaking to professionals such as doctors and nurses. This is also a bit of an introduction to the clinical opportunities that we have in the organization, where we would need licensed nurses, such as registered nurses in the United States and registered nurses in the Philippines, and also medical coders and graduates from allied health courses. So these are opportunities for you to practice your profession as a nurse or a doctor and not really entering the hospitals. And of course, lastly, we do have opportunities under shared services or our leadership roles. These are also under the functions of human capital or human resources, talent acquisition, where I am from. And also, of course, the engagement activities for the employees, finance, and also marketing. So we have several opportunities that we have under Optum. And if you'd like to look at that more, I could share you our careers website later on. Now, just to touch upon this, how we were able to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. Of course, back in March of 2020, we were all very much nervous of what was going to happen, right? The cases were rising in the country. But I'm very proud to say that our business leaders here at Optum worked very quickly into already putting into place business continuity plans and clinical safety protocols that are engaged fully and effectively to keep all employees of Optum safe. That was our number one priority. And that was the number one priority of the business leaders of Optum. Since then, also, we have been employing and paying full wages to the entire workforce. We didn't have to let go of any of our employees. Of course, we shifted also to a work at home setting. So 90% of our non-clinical workforce shifted to a virtual setting. So, of course, to keep our employees safe from the pandemic. And also, we also continued our opportunities or sharing our opportunities to people by also shifting our virtual hiring process to conduct interviews over the phone and also virtually to, of course, have the safety of our employees and also the candidates that would like to apply to our company. And of course, living through the values of Optum, we were able to donate an additional 10 million to fight the pandemic in the different parts of the world where Optum is located. And locally here in the Philippines, we were able to partner with Caritas Manila so that we can fight the pandemic here in the Philippines. So I'm very proud to say that here at Optum, we are still able to work from home. Of course, we have shifted though to a hybrid setting, and we still would like to keep our employees safe and also put into place our safety protocols. So that's how we were able to respond to the pandemic. And I'm very proud to still be part of this organization. So with that, I hope that you learned a thing or two about the organization that I work for, which is Optum Global Solutions Philippines. Now, what I'd like to share right now would be the topic at hand, which is really creating your career portfolio. Now, before I went on for this webinar, I know Sir Kim was able to discuss with you how you were able to create your resume link and also create certain things that you could put place on your resume link. Now, I know he also spoke about a part where you can also put your different documents, which is in the career, in your portfolio, in your resume link. So this is where I want to share with you a few things that you can place in your portfolio. But before that, what is a career portfolio, right? I mean, you already have your resume, you already have, let's say, your cover page and all these other documents. But what really is a career portfolio? Now, by definition, it is a collection of your work experiences, achievements, and qualifications for a type of job that you're looking or for a specific role. So this is most common really for the creatives, like, right? If you understand or you have classmates who are taking, let's say, architecture or engineering, they make these big plans and also their blueprints. So that in their case is their portfolio. They have their design models and also what they have created in their creatives portfolio. But in a careers portfolio, you can also create this so that you can keep your things in order. Now, it's very important to keep in mind, that when creating a career portfolio, you always go for a simple and minimal design. So it's very important that you keep things very simple when creating your career portfolio because it looks more professional if you keep it simple, right? You don't want to, like what Kim mentioned, you don't want to you don't want to stand out because you want to, let's make your font really big or like you want to make the color of your font red. You still want to keep your career portfolio very simple, very minimal, and also very neat. Now, portfolios can also add a lot to your application. So the good thing about a career portfolio and also the resume link that Sir Kim discussed is that technically that is mainly your career portfolio. It shares a lot about your application. It showcases more than your resume, which can provide a huge leg up to other people who are applying to the company. So like Kim mentioned also earlier, several people are applying for the same job. But how you represent yourself and how you're able to extend the requirements and also all these different documents that you are sharing with the company can make a difference. So it gives you an opportunity to show your future employers that you are capable of doing more instead of just saying your accomplishments. So it really shows that you have proof of what you have done, aside from just sharing that during your interviews. Now, what I also would like to share is what should you include in your career portfolio? So number one would mainly be your personal information and resume. So of course, you have your resume, you have your career objectives, and also your cover page and photo. So what's important is that you add that in your career portfolio, because of course that says a lot about you. It gives yourself the information that you can share to the company. Now, the information that you are sharing in the company that you should put in your career portfolio and resume should of course be just the needed information, which is mainly they be able to contact you, right? So you need to place, of course, your full name, your address, your email address, and your number, so that at least they are able to contact you because they would like to interview you. Again, certain information like your zodiac sign, your parents' name, your birth date, not really needed. You don't have to place that on your resume or the personal information that you need to share in your career portfolio, because all you need to do is really provide information on how the recruiters will be able to reach you. Okay. So, of course, you can also include links like your jobs180.com profile and also other websites that showcase, let's say, certain creative profiles that you have, or let's say the designs that you've created that you want to highlight. So that would also help in creating your career portfolio. Of course, the resume, which already Kim provided, again, should be updated to the most recent professional experiences that you have. So make sure that you're able to update your resume with the experiences that you have. You can place, of course, if you, let's say, are a working student, you can always put the experience that you'd had as a working student. You can also place, of course, your OJT or your internship in your resume. So just make it, of course, very simple. You don't have to have like 20 pages of your resume, 10 pages, right? 1 to 2 pages is enough. Actually, the best is really just 1 page to highlight really your educational background, your work experience, and again, your personal information. Now, number 2, what else should you include in your career portfolio? It would be a list of skills and accomplishments that you have, of course, done. So this can be drawn from the work experience, of course, that you've had. You can place, again, work experiences that you've had as a part-time student. You can put experiences as a volunteer. Let's say maybe you're very proud that you're part of an organization, let's say, in helping pets, right? You help, let's say, the pets that are homeless. So you're part of this organization. So you can include that. You can also apply, which includes, let's say, your unique skills that you have. So let's say maybe you're part also of a theater group that you'd like to showcase. Then you can place it also as your skills and accomplishments. Trainings that you have done also are very good to place as accomplishments and also skills. Some trainings that you've, let's say, joined, like this one that UE has prepared for you all, that you can place this in your accomplishments and also skills that you've encountered, that you've gone through this certain training. But don't put all the trainings that you have attended. Only the ones that you feel that you've learned the most, and also the ones that are kind of related to the job or the position that you are applying for. So again, the list of skills and accomplishments that you want to place on your career portfolio and also mainly on your resume are the things that you want to highlight to show the recruiters or the company that you're applying for what you know and what you are capable of doing. So at least they know that, oh, this person has very good, let's say, communication skills, or being part of the team. She already has that experience, teamwork. So I'd like to interview this candidate. So again, those are the skills and accomplishments that you'd like to highlight. So it will make you stand out when you apply and share your career portfolio with other companies. Now, number 3, work samples and testimonials. So this is your chance, of course, to show the best work you've done over the course of your career and illustrate the skills and accomplishments that you've claimed in your resume and earlier in other documents. So it's very important to share these in your career portfolios because it shows proof when, let's say, you are applying for a job that you are capable of, let's say you have creatives and you are applying for, let's say, a graphic designer. So this is where you're able to show what you've done in the past. So let's say you've done a poster for the organization that you've worked for, or in your internship, you have created, let's say, a PowerPoint presentation for the department that you've worked for. So these are the things you want to also add in your career portfolio, because again, it will help you stand out. It's very important also to stay honest and don't misrepresent yourself. Don't just keep adding things that, let's say, you had a group work and you only did 10% of that work, but you add that in your career portfolio, right? So you want to add work samples and testimonials for the things that you are proud of. Testimonials, by the way, you can get from, let's say, your professors, your managers that you've worked for, or the ones that took care of you during your internship. These are the ones that you want to get testimonials for, or recommendations, because they are the ones that have seen and worked with you already in the past. So it's very important that you trust the people that you're getting testimonials from. And of course, that can highlight also the skills that you have shown during the time when you had worked with them. So don't get testimonials, let's say, from your best friend, from your tito, from your parents, because of course there's a lot of bias in that. And you want to get people who can tell the potential employer what you are capable of doing also. And they've seen also what you've done in the past. So it shows a lot of proof that what you are capable of. So again, look for people who can write very good testimonials about your skills and accomplishments. And of course, stay honest and don't misrepresent yourself. Now, the fourth one that you can include in your career portfolio, of course, would be your personal documents and requirements. So let's say you already have a job, you've landed already a position that you would like. You already have these requirements, and that's the good thing about Jobs 180 also, that you can include these documents and upload them on your resume link. So once you are hired, you can mention, oh, by the way, ma'am, since I'm hired already, if you need my requirements, they're all already attached to my resume links, right? So that's why it's very nice that they have this tool on Jobs 180 that you're able to upload your documents. So you have to ready these requirements, because once you are hired, you already want to have everything ready. So what are the requirements that you should ready and what you can get? So proof of SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, TIN, proof of your resignation, of course, if you had previous job experience, proof of your highest education, so that's usually your diploma or your transcript of records, and of course, proof of residence. Now, proof of residence, that's a recent requirement because of the pandemic, because usually, and some companies who allow work from home or who allowed work from home would require you proof of residence so that they're able to send you the tools that you need, such as your laptop and also, let's say, your headphones and your mouse. So at least you're able to, work at home. So that's also an important thing to come in handy. So again, other requirements such as let's say, your medical, and also if you'd like to add other requirements that the company would require you can add that on your resume link. Do research also on what certain requirements that you would need, or best to ask during your interview already after, let's say, your interview, what are the requirements that you could prepare just in case you are hired for the job. Again, it's very important that you ask questions during your interview, right? But again, in your career portfolio, it's also good that you are able to have these requirements handy. So once you get the position, you already have complete requirements and you can already start as soon as possible, right? So those are mainly the things that you would need in a career portfolio. And how I would like to end the topic for today is that really having a career portfolio would really make you stand out. And really only 3 or 4 applicants out of 300 interviews that a recruiter she conducted annually, come with career portfolios. And all of them got jobs. So career portfolios really help showcase their experiences and their job histories. So if you want to stand out, and if you want also to keep things very organized and documented, I suggest that you can start creating your career portfolio. So at least you have everything ready and that you're ready to be hired. So thank you, everyone. I also just wanted to share, of course, that we do have opportunities for you here at Optum Global Solutions Philippines. So if you'd like to check out our opportunities, we have workatoptum.com. That is our careers website. And of course, if you have any other questions and if you'd like to know more about the organization and our current openings, or if you just want to ask me anything really, you can always connect with me at christine.pasha@optum.com for my email. So again, thank you so much, everyone, for inviting me this afternoon and sharing with you on how to create a careers portfolio. Thank you so much and have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Ms. Christine. Okay, so we'll have Ms. Lira again for a short open forum.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Grace, and to Ms. Reese for imparting your expert knowledge on how to best create one's career portfolio. In line with that, these are the questions sent in by our students for you. So the first question is, if I will be pursuing a career that is totally different from the expected career path in my course, how will that positively and negatively affect my career portfolio?
That's a great question. That's a really good question, actually. So, first of all, don't worry regarding the course and also the position that you're applying for. To be honest, I graduated actually international studies, but yet I landed in an HR job, right? So, again, it's not related. But because I had the skills that fit very well in the position in recruitment, I was able to be hired as a recruitment associate way back when. So again, it creating your career portfolio, it would help, of course, if it is related, the skills and accomplishments that you have are related to the position that you are applying for. But again, the course, it doesn't really matter for me. What matters is if you have the skills and accomplishments that can complete or can do the role that you're applying for, then that's what really matters. I don't see anything negatively how it would affect your application. Again, if you just prepare the right career portfolio that you have, and if you are able to showcase your skills and accomplishments that fit the role that you're applying for, then that would be no problem and you'd be successful.
Thank you very much, Ms. Reese. For the second question, what is the best thing we can do to set ourselves apart from others in the same profession or career using our career portfolio?
That's also a good question. So using your career portfolio for you to really stand out is one, you already have a career portfolio. Not everyone uses that. So at least you are able to already have everything organized, right? So when recruiters or when companies ask you for certain things, you have everything prepared already. So you just have to know what you'd like to include in your career portfolio, right? What are the things that you want to highlight? Would it be your skills and accomplishments, the trainings that you've attended? And again, it would really have to match with the role that you're applying for. For example, let's say you're applying for, let's say, a recruitment associate. So what do you want to highlight? How are you able to become a recruitment associate? You're supposed to, let's say, have good teamwork. You're able to communicate well. So these are the things that you can highlight. So what are the certain experiences that showcased having good communication skills? So you can, let's say, look into your internship, or you can highlight, let's say, being part of an organization in UE. What is that organization that you were able to showcase being a team player, right? So those are things that you can place in your careers portfolio that would also make you stand out, because during the interviews also you can share that, but also have proof, right? You could say, oh, like I was able to become a team player in my organization over here, or if you've checked my careers portfolio and if you've already scanned through them, this is my certificate where I was able to showcase being a team player or being the leader of my organization. So that's just an example.
Thank you very much. Another question po. Speaking for students who still do not have a definite plan for their career like me as of this moment, what advice can you give for us who are still undecided or with no plan yet to be able to create a good career portfolio?
Okay, that's a good question too. Now, again, there's really no rush. I know that most of you are kind of nervous after graduation because, again, it's a new chapter. It's a really completely new chapter of your life. So you have to take things one step at a time. So don't rush everything. Don't pressure yourself into getting a job right away if you feel that you're not ready yet, right? So you have to make sure that you feel that you are 100% ready, that you are ready to apply for roles. And then when you feel that you're ready, and when you know that, okay, I need to look for a job already, I am determined, that's when you can start already creating your careers portfolio. Then you have to look back. What are the things that I would need to for my careers portfolio? I need my resume. What skills can I highlight during in my resume? What are these documents that I would need so that they can go to government offices and collect them already? So at least the company, if I'm hired, I already have these things ready. So you, again, take things one step at a time. And the good thing is that you have the support of your whole, your guidance counselors and everything. If you need help, speak to them, because you are so lucky that they're able to help you, walk you through these things. You have trainings like these because they're helping you prepare for already the workforce. So again, take things one step at a time and don't rush. Just calm down.
Ayan, sabi nga ni Miss Reese, no, just calm down. Ayan. Thank you very much po for your wisdom that you shared, no, to our students. For sure, these will be very helpful, no, as our students prepare for the challenges ahead of their graduation. Thank you very much po. And thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much to, ayan, thank you po. Thank you very much to all our students for sharing with us your thoughts and queries. This only showed how enthusiastic you are in preparing for your future. And I hope we were able to address your questions with the time we had for today. Back to you, Miss Grace.
Now, may I read the caption for the e-certificate for Miss Pasha? Ayan. So this certificate of recognition is hereby given to Christine H. Pasha for being the resource speaker in the GCCSO webinar, UE Graduates Onwards to Hybrid New Normal, Career Talk Webinar 2022 under the Career Development and Placement Program 2022, given this 18th day of April 2022, signed Maria Leonila Villarrea, PhD, RGC, Director of the GCCSO. Thank you very much, Ms. Reese, Ms. Christine, Ms. Pasha. I completed it. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you,
All
Miss
right.
Grace. Thank you,
you.
everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. All right. So thank you very much to all the resource speakers. And we are very grateful to the support and assistance you have been extending to our dear graduating students. All right. So allow me to mention the other activities we have in store for you as part of the career development and placement services of the GCCSO, plus other important reminders. Now, the self-paced career development and placement program is already open for access for the OJT and or graduating students. Now, we launched this last March 21, and it will run until April 30, 2022 in Google Classroom. So kindly accomplish all the modules of the self-paced career development and placement program, and you can also find there the procedure for the exit interview. Now, the virtual mock interview is scheduled tomorrow, starting tomorrow, April 19, 2022, for the College of Arts and Sciences and College of Education, and on April 20, 2022, for the College of Business Administration, and finally on April 21, 2022, for the College of Computer Studies and Systems and College of Engineering. So all events are via Zoom. The virtual careers fair will happen on April 22, 2022 via Zoom. Now, all the infographic posters that you have seen are in details of the events are mentioned, are uploaded in our GCCSO FB page, including the pre-registration links in the caption. Now, the exit interview for the graduating students will start on April 25. Again, I repeat, it will start on April 25 until May 10, 2022. The infographic poster and details on how to avail for this can be found in our GCCSO FB page. So even without the e-certificate for the events, no, such as this one, you can already request for a schedule, no, of your virtual exit interview. However, you must accomplish the activity evaluation, which we will post later on, no, yung link. Now, please do not forget, yes, to answer the activity evaluation form, the link of which will be posted in our YouTube comment section and GCCSO FB page. Now, this link will remain open until tomorrow, April 19 at 12 noon. Okay, so your e-certificates will be sent to your registered UE email. Just give us more or less 2 weeks to send it to you. Okay. And finally, to formally close our webinar, and we hope that you were able to get a lot of useful information from our very dynamic speakers, please join me now in singing the UE hymn.
Pamantasan ka naming mahal, ilaw sa karimlan, buhay, lakas, dunong, dangal, pamantasan ka ng bayan. Ang pangalan mo ay manhati at sandigan ka ng lahi, pamantasan ng silangan, pamantasan ka naming mahal, pamantasan ka naming mahal, ilaw sa karimlan, buhay, lakas, dunong, dangal, pamantasan ka ng bayan. Ang pangalan mo ay walhati at sandigan ka ng lahi, pamantasan ng silangan, pamantasan ka naming mahal.
Again, on behalf of the GCCSO, thank you very much for joining us, and please continue to be safe and healthy, both physically and mentally.